Welcome to the dark side of BEASTwriter. I'm your host, Ryan Sakamoto, and today we're going to be discussing, breaking down the news that we all want to hear about and all want to talk about because it's the talk of the town here in Vegas, and that is what is going on with the Las Vegas Raiders quarterback situation as we turn the page to 2023. They are now mathematically eliminated for playoff contention, but that's not to say there's nothing short to talk about, right? When it comes to the Las Vegas Raiders, there's always something to talk about. And so I think it's fun. I think there's a lot of options on the table. And if you're a Raider fan, and I'm on all these chats and fan blogs and all these other social media outlets, you talk about Discord. Not too many people know about Discord. If you do know about Discord, that means you're into social media. But I'm on all these different platforms, right? And people are just showering me with comments. Some are irritated, not with me personally, but with the way the season has gone. We have my guy, What's Up G. He's a moderator in here, Niner fan, but of course he keeps it 100, has his own opinion on it. He said it's the coach's fault, which is why the team is having the down year that they're having. I respectfully disagree. Jeff, What's Up G, who's in here, he's a good friend of mine. But at the end of the day, I totally disagree. And being there as my 9 to 5, and then also looking at it and talking to a lot of these players and getting to know these players, just not on a professional level, but on a personal level, and really talking to not just the players, the scouts, the scouting department, personnel execs. It's one of those things where in order to formulate that type of analysis, you really have to back it up by grading the film and grading every single snap. I did go on and say this before the year began. I didn't think the Raiders were going to make the playoffs. And people were like, oh, no, everyone's saying they're, oh, how are you going to say that? We have Davante Adams. You have this. I said, look, there's a lot of missing pieces on the defense side of the football. They ain't going to make the playoffs. They're going to be a 10-win team. I thought I saw a 10-win team. All right, I'm not going to sit here and say I didn't see a 10-win team. I thought they were going to go 10-7. But ultimately, I didn't think they were going to go and make it to the playoffs. So for me, they are what I thought they were going into the season. And that is a team on the verge of not just making the playoffs next year if they get the right pieces, but actually winning a Super Bowl. And now that sounds crazy because they're missing the playoffs and people can talk about, oh, yeah, we don't have a defense. We don't have this. Coach Graham sucks. Da, da, da. It's like, nah, man, for me to go out and say this, because you guys know, coming from San Francisco, I keep them 100. I'm not going to say the team's going to go 17-0. I don't take the homer stance. I take the honest stance. And the honest stance is this. Great coaching comes with great players at the same time, right? You can't just have great coaching and not have the horses to get it done. I said this all along. There's some people some people I work with are like, oh, no, how are you going to say that? I was like, they don't have the horses on defense. Oh, no, they have Chandler Jones. They have this. I'm like, okay. And those people are crickets now. But it is what it is. Beast receipt checks out, and here we are. But let's go ahead and talk about the quarterback situation. There was some talk, again, in some of these Facebook groups that I'm in, and they're saying, oh, that's a lost season. No, screw the Raiders, this and that. And I'm like, man, this is the best time to be a Raider fan. You know why? And I'll tell you why. And the Raider fans are by far the most loyal fan base in the NFL. And I'm not saying the Niner fans aren't loyal. The faithful aren't. They are. But if you were to ask me, if I was to put my money where my mouth is, and when I covered the Las Vegas Raiders or then the Oakland Raiders and the San Francisco 49ers at the same exact time, working for Fansided Network when it was still growing, and I was the editor of the page, and I talked about it, and I said, look, what fan base is better? Battle of the Bay. Covering the Niners, I said it was the Las Vegas or then Oakland Raiders. So my dynamic and my line of thinking has not changed since then. Since when was it? 2009, 2010, somewhere around there. I always keep it 100. All right. So anyone who also says that Coach Graham is the reason why the team is losing, no, it's not his fault he's missing tackles. It's his fault he's blowing the assignments. You're only as good as the horses you have. And if they don't have the horses, then you're not going to be successful. You're not going to win in a 60-minute game. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. Thank you, Auntie Six Soldier, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. He says, just win, baby. People have been asking how you can donate to the channel. Obviously, I go to where the views are, where the likes are, and where their engagement is. That's what we're all about here in the DOB. So if you like the content, like the Silver and Black movement I'm striving to push here on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, you name it, please give this video a thumbs up. There's 20 of us watching live stream right now. And if you're watching this on replay, also give it a thumbs up, and you can drop your comments post stream. And I respond to every single comment, good or bad. And I give you my honest assessment on it. I think that's what's cool about YouTube and all these other social media platforms that I'm on is, look, I can engage with you guys and kind of answer your questions. I'm not one to, if you were to ask me a question, that I wouldn't engage with you, right? So a lot of you have been sending me private DMs because you guys don't want your stuff on social media, and I understand that, and I do the best. So I mean, my inbox is full to the roof with comments. I can't get to every single DM, obviously, because that's a lot of DMs, be sliding my DMs. But if you push it to the social media posts that I'm on, it will also help the algorithm as well. But then also I can get this instant notification as you hear my phone going off. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's going off. And I'm getting these. Here you go. See, not joking. So I get notifications here. And that way I can respond to you after the live stream concludes. Here's one on Instagram. Let's go. Give that money to Jacobs and let's pick up a quarterback. All right. So, see, I get the notifications just like all you guys on your tablet, your iPhone, your smartphone, whatever the case may be, Android. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about it. But thank you so much, On to Six Soldier. I appreciate the super chat. Really means a lot. Let's get to some of the questions as we answer the quarterback situation. Look, and again, people have been asking me what's going to happen with the quarterback situation. It's obviously not going to be Derek Carr. Anyone who says it's going to be Derek Carr and he's coming back, he ain't coming back, bro. I'm just saying, he ain't coming back. It ain't happening. And now watch him come back. I'm very confident he's not coming back. Now watch him come back. He's like, who said that? No, I don't think he's coming back. Look, the writing's on the wall. He's not coming back. All right. He's going to look elsewhere. He has a no trade clause, but he's not going to stay in. They don't want him. So, I know there's some Derek Carr supporters, a lot of them. There's also some people who are trying to misplace blame on who pointing the finger. Look, this is a whole organizational situation. You can't just point the finger at one specific person. That's just not the right way of doing business. You can't just be like, oh yeah, that's that guy's fault. Like, that's why we're losing. Like, oh man. No, it's not. Like, again, maybe because I coached, maybe because I played. And if you play competitive sports, it doesn't have to be football or basketball, whatever the case may be. It's an ultimate team sport. It's not like golf where it's just mano a mano, right? You can only get mad at yourself because if someone doesn't know his assignment, well, that is your assignment. You need to know whether you use a 9-iron or a 7-iron or a wedge, right? Or if you're on the putting green, you need to know how to play the game. Are you going to play the short game or are you going to play the long game based on the putting greens that you're going to be facing on the course that you're playing? So there's a lot of different schemes that way. But I mean, like, that's a one-on-one game within yourself, right? Yeah, you have your caddy, you can make recommendations and all that, but you guys get the picture. Football is an ultimate team sport, and it's not just from the players. It's from the personnel. It's from the scouts. It's from the owner. So everything comes from the top down. So it's an organizational approach to where everyone has to be on the same page to have future success. And I think people go about it the wrong way when they just point to one. Oh, well, we had Rich Bisaccia, and we were in the playoffs last year. That's the whole rhyme behind the reasoning. Going back to Davante Adams, if you guys catch my YouTube live streams and my videos on Twitter and everything anyway that I posted. Anyways, we're going to talk about that in a moment. But there is a rhyme to the reason as to why you can't just say that, because look at all those games that they won. It was the same exact scenario that happened this year. It's just the ball went the other direction. So the law of averages, if you have a mindset of being a logical person, would be like, hey, look, and we get more notifications, that's just the way it is sometimes, right? And again, look at their personnel. Don't just compare Raiders team from 2021 to 2022. Look at the dynamics of all 32 NFL teams and then come back to me when running those grades, because I run grades on all 32 NFL teams and all the best players around the league and the important ones that I feel are important around the league. And I grade every single snap. Do that first. Then you might have some rhyme behind your reasoning as to why they're doing well, why they're not doing so hot, and then everything in between. But you can't just go out and say, oh, well, new coach, it must be the coach's fault. No. Horrible take, in my opinion. Now, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but I don't think that's the right take. My guy JD11 says, "Let's go." JD11 is, again, always supporting me here in the DOB. He's always up there in the press box in the black hole, always supporting us here in the DOB, and he always wins. He always wins on game days. And if you guys don't know what happens on game days, he's on it. JD is on it. So basically what I do is I'll post on the community page or I'll post a YouTube video. So you have to be following me on YouTube, of course, or Twitter. One of the two, it doesn't matter. Instagram. In fact, all my social media, just putting this out there. So because people, Twitter and YouTube are basically the only ones I stream from. Oh, got another note. Okay. Anyways, I gotta get back to this guy. Okay, so getting back to it. What was I talking about? I kind of had a kind of important phone text message here, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get back to this guy. What the hell was I talking about? Oh, my giveaways. Let's just talk about that for a second, right? So support the channels. 23 of us watching here. Give it a thumbs up. Also, you can support through a super chat or super sticker if you want, but then we also run giveaways, right? And this is a fun way for me to engage with the fan base here in the DOB and the Raider Nation and trying to grow the channel, right? We're trying to grow and expand the channel. And the only way I can do that is by having the help of the loyal DOB, right? The faithful, loyal DOB. And that's all of you. So share this video, tell all your family and friends to follow me here in the Dark Side of BEASTwriter on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram, also on Twitter at BEASTwriter. So go ahead and follow me on all those respective platforms. And who's not on Facebook, right? And we do cool giveaways on Facebook. So Dark Side of BEASTwriter, DOB, as you see in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, DOB stands for Dark Side of BEASTwriter. You guys can go ahead and follow me there. There's a private Facebook group and also a public Facebook page. So again, we're on all those social media outlets. I strongly encourage you to follow every single one because I don't just post and cross-post on every single platform, because if I did that, I'd be a man on a mission and I'd probably be stressed out of my mind, which in all honesty, I try to do the best I can, but there's just not enough hours in a day. And of course, you guys know I bodybuild and I personal train and online coach. So I do that in the off season. So if you guys are looking into training or personal training, I'll be posting my workout videos. Or if that's something that you want to, how should I say this? If you want to get fit or try to be fit, or if you're new to the fitness game, that's what you guys have me here for. And that kind of bridges the gap during this off season. The good news is I plan on covering the Pro Bowl this year. It's in Vegas. I plan on covering the East-West Shrine Bowl. That's also in Vegas. And also, you guys know how I cover the NFL draft, talking to different scouts and having them on here on this platform as we prepare for the 2023 NFL draft and my mock draft. Obviously, if you guys think I'm good with the silver and black content, you guys have no idea how the NFL draft comes around and how I do when predicting all 32 NFL teams picks, because again, beat Mel Kiper. I go against the best, in my opinion. Mel Kiper, Todd McShay, Daniel Jeremiah, Charles Davis, Matt Miller, right? So all these guys, I've been in the last 2 years, and I go up against the best. I think these guys are Lance Ireland. Think the guys are the best, but even scouts have told me, man, we follow your mock draft. When's it coming out? So that's what I do, right? And again, you have to know tendencies, biases. And I've been doing this since 1999 was my first year, but 2000 was really the first year when I started doing this. And I was still in high school at the time. And so I was really going into it. And back then, there was no internet back then, really, right? I mean, I think that was like the AOL dial-up days, 2000, right? Ooh. So everything was more, not digital, it was more paper, right? And so you had the sporting news, you had the Pro Football Weekly magazine. So you subscribe to that. And then also you can kind of pick and choose your spots as to, I think this player's, because YouTube wasn't really big back then. I didn't know if it existed back then. But if it did, I don't know. I wasn't on it. But yeah, you find different things and aspects. And all you get to see is the broadcast view. There wasn't coaches film. So from there, I think it was 2009. 2009 was the first year I beat Mel Kiper. And I was like, you know what? I think I got 17 first-round picks right in that year, 2009. If I'm not mistaken. I think that's the Jamarcus Russell draft. I don't know. Was it the Jamarcus Russell draft? No, it was 2007, something like that. Long time ago. I don't know. I have the paper. I'll post the paper. We didn't even have spreadsheets back then. I was writing it with highlighters and stuff. I'll show it to you guys. I know I have it somewhere up here when I moved here from Bay Area. I always kept it as a reminder to know, hey, look, like this is, people want to know how I got started as a beat writer and how I got into the mock drafting. And it was from that exact draft that I got. It might have been 2005. I don't know. But no, I have that paper. I'm going to go ahead and show you that and show you guys exactly how I got into it, because that's a constant reminder for me. Like, hey, look, like I actually beat Mel. To me, Mel Kiper's the stand. I like Mel Kiper. I think he does a good job. He says some stuff, but there's reason he's on ESPN, right? Like, you don't go on ESPN for nothing. So, everyone loves him. But you run giveaways. JD11 always wins the giveaways. I always during pregame warmups, I'm always in the black hole, and all you gotta do is get my attention. And if you follow me, odds are you're gonna see what I'm giving away for that day's prize. He got, it's funny, I saw him, he's like, hey, so do I win the You wouldn't know that unless you followed me on social media. Posted it up on Twitter, also posted up on Instagram and YouTube. So I was like, yeah, also on Facebook. And I was like, yeah, you won. So I pulled it. I was like, hey, there you go. So now, JD, always a good time seeing you. And there is a picture. My man, Harry Ruiz. If you don't follow my guy, Harry Ruiz, go follow my man, Harry Ruiz. He was on here on this Pick Six live stream earlier this year. And he actually caught a photo of me taking your autograph that you requested. So I thought that was a cool moment. Him capturing the moment was really cool. I'm going to post that up on not the live stream, obviously, but I'll post it up shortly after the live stream concludes. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about Jarrett Stidham, right? I think that's kind of, gosh, geez Louise. Everyone wants to know what's going on. I'm talking about the quarterback situation. I'm talking about it. Everyone say, oh, no, don't give me Brady. Then no one says, no, what are you talking about? Brady's the best. There's another one that says, oh, no, the Tuck rule gives me bad vibes. Don't bring Brady here. You know what? Let's just start with Jarrett Stidham. Let's just start there, all right? Jarrett Stidham. What I tell you guys on the last live stream that I did, but Jarrett Stidham brings to the table, and then people were laughing, he's not going to be good. He's blah, blah, blah. And then now, where are they now? Crickets. I told y'all. 2019 fourth-round pick, number 133 overall, drafted out of Auburn. I thought this guy was going to be something that is kind of one of those under-the-radar moves that GM Dave Ziegler makes. But ultimately, again, I said this in real time on the BEASTwriter Plus newsletter. If you don't subscribe to the BEASTwriter Plus newsletter, it's all good. It's a newsletter that I have. It's a subscription-based newsletter. Of course, you have to pay a monthly subscription to get the access to this. But I said this in real time. I said, look, this guy's good. GM Dave Ziegler did a really good job just swapping late-round picks, moving from 6 to 7. But then ultimately getting a backup quarterback who understands the system in return. Not only that, it's not so much about understanding the system. People take that they don't take it at face value, but because they do. But I would say they put too much stock in it. Like, look, it's a complex system, and yes, you do have to have and understand the rules of engagement, the POE, exactly what's going on on the offensive scheme. But Jarrett Stidham, what he brings to the table, he's a young guy coming from New England. All right. So obviously he's familiar with Dave Ziegler. And we talked about this again here on YouTube when I interviewed him in my locker room interview. No one else was really interviewing him because he wasn't playing. But this is the reason why the guesswork has already been done, laid out. I talked to Jarrett every single day since day one. I just like talking to people because I think it's cool talking to people who may not get the shine at the time because their time may be up at any given time. So when their time is up, you already did the legwork, right? Here in the DOB. We already covered this, right? And so I already knew some of the answers to the questions that were potentially going to be asked, which we already kind of knew where it was going. But because I asked him these questions in the year, I was like, hey man, you're not playing. But what are you doing to stay prepared every single week mentally, right? Because I think that's more important with the Raider way. People talk about toughness, right? And we talked about mental toughness because it's more than physical toughness. Anybody can be physically tough, or well, not everyone, but odds are it's easier to be more physically tough than it is to be mentally tough. All right, being mentally tough is when someone challenges your breaking point. How do you overcome that adversity, right? Or if someone was challenging that breaking point, what are you doing to hold up mentally, right? Because football is as game mental as it is physical. And from a mental aspect, and I talked about it with Coach McDaniels during training camp, the mental reps that these players are taking when they're watching from the sidelines is just as important, because coaches are paying attention at all times. Scouts are paying attention at all times, right? How is your body language? Are you slacking off, or are you actually paying attention to the minute details that the coaches are trying to preach with the guy in front of you, right? So when your time is called, you know what to do with no drop off in production. These are things that I saw in training camp, and it translate onto the field. The unfortunate situation is the other team has a vote too. All right. They get paid too. All right. So depending on the coaching staff that you're going up against, it could be a 1A versus 1B, right? Or it could be a 1A versus 1C. But at the end of the day, that's why it always comes back to this, right? It always comes back to when you talked about Jarrett Stidham, right? Being mentally tough. What does he do well? Well, the guy is 6'2", 218. That's good for starters, right? And in my BEASTwriter Plus newsletter, I said this once the trade was made, and I thought GM Daisy did a hell of a job striking a deal with New England Patriots because he got someone familiar with the offense. And at the time, they had Nick Mullins, and I said the iron sharpens iron mentality is in full swing because ultimately Nick Mullins is good. We all know that because I covered him with the San Francisco 49ers. I knew what they were getting with Nick Mullins, but I thought Jarrett Stidham had a little bit higher ceiling, right? And so when you bring in a guy like Jarrett Stidham, and I like Nick Mullins, and Nick Mullins' grandfather follows me here in the DOB. But yeah, Larry knows. I keep it 100. Look, I like Nick Mullins. I just thought Jarrett Stidham had a higher ceiling, right? And so that's why it's good to bring him here. And obviously, Nick Mullins got shipped out. But what Jarrett Stidham is, he's a very intelligent quarterback, right? And I said this from day one. Once the trade was made, I scouted him at Auburn. Very intelligent quarterback, understands zone read concepts, or zone concepts, I should say, not zone read concepts, but you can understand that too. Zone concepts, right? Cover shells, different rules of engagement that apply, right? He's very good as a film junkie, right? He has above average accuracy for the position. So that's something that you want to see, because when people talk about accuracy, they just go straight to the completion percentage. I like to peel back layers of the onion to get to the core, as I always like to say in this live streams and on YouTube and whatever the case may be, because when you peel back layers of the onion to really get to the core, as I always talk about, I'm not talking about completion percentage. That's not considered accuracy to me. Throwing on the right shoulder is accuracy to me. Do you throw to the receiver in stride? Do you save the wide receiver from himself because he doesn't know who's in his blind spot if you were to throw to a spot and there's a seeking strong side safety or a weak side linebacker ready to lay the wood going across the middle? Do you throw to the spot to where you're saving the receiver if there's a seeking missile coming downhill that you know that he's going to get wrecked if you throw it straight on the numbers? These are things you look for. That's accuracy. That's being smart from the shoulders up. And that's, again, peeling back another layer of the onion to get to the core. People just go to the completion percentage. No, grade the snap. Don't grade the box score, grade the snap. No one wants to do that because it takes time. I do it. That's why you guys have me. That's what I saw in Jarrett Stidham's game. And another thing that I saw, and again, go follow the Beast Receipts here on Twitter, what I say about Jarrett Stidham in that Dolphins game. He made the play of the game, embodied the Raider way, stand tall, and delivered to the receiver in stride. That was Billy T going across the middle, and he took a shot in the process. What did we see on that 60-yard touchdown? Let's talk to Davante Adams about it. Oh, I did. Davante Adams said, Jarrett Stidham, man, really impressed. Really impressed with Jarrett Stidham. Extended the play, kept his eyes downfield, didn't get rattled, stayed calm, took a shot to the face by Talanoa Hufanga, who left his gap zone assignment as a flat defender and underneath coverage, despite being bracketed initially by Davante Adams because he was sandwiched between Talanoa Hufanga and Dre Greenlaw, who pretended to blitz and then dropped back in his curl hook defender zone coverage. So now you have bookends on either side. He ran a China route to the outside release, but then Talanoa Hufanga was already sitting there in his zone. So then once the play broke down, Hufanga was like, you know what? I'm just going to go after the quarterback. Boom. What does Davante do? Tay just gap replaces that assignment and then finds the soft spot in zone coverage while staying friendly, which I tweeted this out already. Also post this up in my film breakdowns, from the numbers to the boundary And Jarrett Stidham delivered a perfect pass to Davante Adams for a 60-yard touchdown, which, by the way, is the longest touchdown pass this season, and also ties for the longest pass play of the 2022 season. I don't know. I think he's doing a hell of a job. He's a tough scrambler who fights for extra yards. He stands tall and delivers, and he has heart. You can't coach heart. How many quarterbacks in the NFL would do that? Honestly, how many quarterbacks in the NFL would take a hit like that and be like, and get up and then be, you know what? For me, I'd be like, that's my quarterback. That's what I want to see. I want to see a guy who takes one for the team. You know, Davante Adams talked about it yesterday. Josh Jacobs talked about it. Everyone's hurt. Everyone's hurt. If you were just to say every nagging injury, there'd be a long list of every single player. Oh, I have a pinky injury. Oh, I have a toe injury. Oh, I have a hip injury. Oh, my fingernail. Oh man, look at my cuticle. I have to go get a manicure now. Like, no, dude. Like, everybody's dealing with something. Like, duh. Like, that's just straight up in the same thing with bodybuilding. We get injured all the time. Like, I have a bad back. You ask anyone in the media workroom, I'm hobbling half the time. In fact, it's kind of like a known thing. But do I complain? No. Why? Because again, when it's all about having the toughness. Now I'm talking about, you have to be a tough guy physically, but mentally tough. It's easy to give in when your body's telling you to, but what does your mind tell you? Like, are you strong enough? It's all about mind over matter. MOM, right? I'm not talking about mom. I'm talking about mind over matter, right? We talk about this in bodybuilding all the time. What you think you can do, and what your body's telling you to do are two different dynamics, two different parameters here. All right. At the end of the set, and Arnold Schwarzenegger always said this: the growth from muscle building does not come from the 8 to 10 reps that you're doing it, or is it 6 to 5 or 5 to 6 reps that you're doing it? It comes from the last 2 to 3, right? Because it's mind over matter. It's building up that muscle memory we talked about. Football and fitness is what we do here in the DOB. That's why you see that barbell going across the DOB logo. Just saying it. So this is all I'm saying, man. All I'm saying about that is Jarrett Stidham, and people are talking about that. Oh, yeah. Remember when Jarrett Stidham went in for that one play, and I tweeted out, I was like, I'm excited to see Jarrett Stidham. And some people were like, yeah, Jarrett Stidham, cool. And then Derek Carr came back the next play. And then people were asking me after, were you serious about that? I said, yeah. I was serious about it because I think he could provide a spark. Is there anything wrong with that? And I said this on the live stream in real time. Here we are today. Where are those people now? Beast receipt checks out. Again, it takes a while to kind of see things from a different lens, but at the end of the day, there's always two sides to every story. On top of that, if you're going to say something, grade the snap, don't grade the box score. Grade the snap, don't grade the box score. All right? Then maybe you'll get the respect. Not saying you don't get respect because no one has the time. I'm not throwing shade at that. I'm just saying, like, if you're going to have a conviction about something, like, let's say you say someone sucks, right? Oh, XYZ player sucks. Like, he's horrible. Can't do this, can't do that. Oh, why? Oh man, I saw the YouTube highlights. This is this thing that irritates me. Every single year, whether you're a Niner fan, whether you're Red, every single year, people will just go to YouTube and look up the highlights and be like, this guy's a good player. Go back when the Denzel Mims thing, and I shot that down since day one. I said, Denzel Mims is not a good wide receiver. Why? Because he can't run a full route tree. You wouldn't know that from highlights because all he runs is 7, 8, 9 makers, holler at your boy. Look how he comes off his stem. He comes up too high all the time. Oh, no, you're just a hater. No, I'm just being real with you. Go check the Beast receipts on Twitter. That's just one example. You can go back and check all the Beast receipts for all I care. But that's why you guys follow me. Mock draft, college, that's my thing. I'm telling you guys, it's coming in hot. Hotter than ever. I shouldn't say that because I always keep it hot. But for those who don't know, you'll be like, oh, this guy's good. Or you'll be like, oh, this guy sucks. Either way, an opinion is going to be formulated, and you guys will know that the Beast receipts check out. That's why I'm not afraid to call myself out. Rarely do I get it wrong, but I do sometimes. And I like calling myself out when I get it wrong because it holds myself accountable. Look, not to say how cool I am, but credibility is all about getting it right. Let's not get it twisted. And the name of the game of me being, that's how I form in the NFL media. It's all about getting it right. It's not about getting it wrong. Why would you follow me if I said this in real time and then didn't cross-check in hindsight? That's just wasting, now that we're on here, 35 minutes and 14 seconds of your time of total BS. I don't feed you BS. I feed you beast receipts. That's what I feed you. Feed the beast. Let's keep it going. Thank you on to Six Soldier. I appreciate it. It says, preach, beast. I just keep it 100. That's what I'm saying. Look, I'm not right 100%. If I was right, no one's God. All right? No one gets it right 100% of the time. But I also don't get it right just 65% of the time. It's more like 80, 85%. All right? And if I don't get the pick right, like let's say, for instance, right? We did a poll when Chris Jones came out, now with the Kansas City Chiefs. I thought he was going to go to the Niners. I picked I think it was number 35 at the time. And all the 49ers beat writers did the poll, right? Get this. All right. So we all did the poll. And Chris Jones went the exact number that I thought he would be drafted at. It said that the 49ers should out of that spot. So that's just giving you some example of how good or how accurate the mock drafts are. And again, I can go to Twitter right now, repost my stuff, and you guys can see everything timestamp. Can't say I didn't say it. Right? Can't say I didn't say it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it for the super chat, though. On to Six Soldier, you're the man. Kevin Lurker, thank you so much. He says, good evening, Beast. Good evening, Kevin. How you doing? Egalitarian says, Denzel Mims can only run go routes. Yeah, see? 789 makers. Corner, post, fly, fades. I don't know if he can run a fade because you have to kind of gain separation. And I don't know if he understands how to squeeze himself to the boundary with little real estate and still keep 2 feet in bounds. I don't know. But out in open space with no one in front of you, sure. It's a track meet. I get it. But yeah, no, I think it's cool because, again, this is what's happening, right? So let me just tell you what happened right now. All right. So Jarrett Stidham, love Jarrett Stidham. As a player, as a person, love him. Love him. Great guy, great person. And I wouldn't be surprised. And I'm telling you, look, if he has a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio, throws for 300 yards, has a completion percentage of, let's say, 67%, but then of those 67% completion pass rates that I just pointed out, if he throws on the proper shoulder to the receiver in stride and also has game that he did last week, there's going to be rumblings on whether or not they should keep Jarrett Stidham in Las Vegas because ultimately he's a free agent at the end of the year, which brings me to the next question. If Jarrett Stidham is a free agent, do you re-sign him? My answer is it depends. I love Jarrett Stidham. Jarrett, if you're watching, I love you, but I keep it 100. Look, if Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are here, because this is keep 100. If Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are here, you obviously Tom Brady would be signing here. Aaron Rodgers would have to trade. The dynamics of trading for a guy like Aaron Rodgers. Well, let's go ahead and talk about Tom Brady, right? For those who don't know who Tom Brady is, you've been living under a rock or you're young. Either or two, right? Because everyone knows who Tom Brady is. Arguably the best quarterback to ever play the game. Now, my guy Randy Cross, the great 49er who should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know why he's not. Arguably the best 49ers offensive lineman to ever suit up for the red and gold. Good friend of mine. And Randy, if you're watching, we got to catch up. Tom Brady, who is he? 2006 round pick, drafted number 199 at a University of Michigan, which, by the way, Jim Harbaugh says he's staying in 2023. 7-time Super Bowl champ, 5-time Super Bowl MVP, 3-time NFL MVP. The list goes on, right? So I think we kind of know where this is going. 6-time All-Pro, yeah. 5-time NFL passing touchdown leader, 5-time NFL passing yards leader. We get it. And people are saying who in the fan blogs, on Facebook groups, oh, he's too old. We don't want him. What are you talking about, bro? He's the greatest ever to play the game, and I don't care about his age because age doesn't mean anything for a quarterback you cannot hit anyways. You also know what happened if you grade the snap, not the box score. You also know what happened in the Grady Jarrett on Tom Brady sack, right? And then Tom Brady kind of kicked Grady Jarrett, and it was a roughing the passer penalty. Wait, a roughing the passer, but yes, you heard that right. That's the way the rules are going in today's NFL. So you cannot hit Tom Brady, and it's Tom Brady. It's like Michael Jordan rules, right? Like if Michael Jordan gets favorable treatment, you don't think Tom Brady, of course he does. Hey, man, I would welcome him in Las Vegas. And at the same time, he knows the offense. At the same time as having like an additional coach on the football field. At the same time, he's probably going to raise everyone else's game because you're playing with Tom Brady. You know that Davante Adams does not want to play with Tom Brady? You kidding me? Yes, Derek Carr is his best friend, but if you get an upgrade and you upgrade on Tom Brady, why would you say no? Why would you say no? And for people who are saying, oh, no, Tom Brady's past his prime, he's 1 year removed from leading the NFL in touchdown passes and passing yards. Come on. The instant gratification in people's minds is, oh, he sucks this year, so that means his career is over. No, absolutely not. Give me Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, and I'll roll with Tom Brady. You don't think Davante Adams would be happy with Tom Brady here in Las Vegas? And aside from the tuck rule, how cool would it be? Think of this. Everything comes full circle. So how cool would it be based on the tuck rule, which we all know is a fumble? I'm not going to say here in line, say it was a fumble. Charles Woodson, you knocked the ball out. It was a fumble. All right. Snow Angels and all after the game. It was a fumble. But how cool would it be if he came to Las Vegas, won the Raiders a ring, and then all is forgotten? Talk about a storybook ending to a Hall of Fame career. I'm just saying it. So anyone who says, oh, no, you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't go after Tom, come on. Come on. But on the flip side, if you go after a guy like Aaron Rodgers, all right, who is Aaron Rodgers? Again, both these guys are Bay Area rooted kids, all right? But who is Aaron Rodgers? Both wanted to play for San Francisco 49ers. That ain't happening with Brock Purdy there. And they also have Trey Lance. Remember him? They also have Jimmy Garoppolo, but is he going to go return? I don't know. But anyways, that's 3 quarterbacks that they have to figure out at the end of the year. And Jimmy Garoppolo could possibly make his way here to Las Vegas, but I wouldn't like the move. Covered him in San Francisco, like him as a person, think he's a serviceable winning quarterback, understands the system, yada, yada, yada. I get it. But can he get you over the hump? I think he's in the same category as a Derek Carr. And now I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying it is what it is. If I'm going to go out and get a quarterback, I want an upgrade from Derek Carr, not a similar comparison to where, not in terms of NFL traits, but in terms of, hey, look, this is what you can and can't do with this quarterback. So it's going to dissect our defense my offensive playbook. And now we can only do certain things. And now you're dealing with a 1 to 2 read quarterback. He doesn't scan the whole entire field. All right. Let's just keep it 100. Again, coming from the Niners, I know. I'm not in favor of Jimmy Garoppolo. Now watch Jimmy Garoppolo come to Las Vegas and then win the Super Bowl. But who is Aaron Rodgers, right? He's a 2005 first round. This live stream is hot. If you like it and you have change of spare, shoot me a super chat or super sticker. Or if you don't, all good. Just give this video a thumbs up and engage with me on this platform. Good vibes only here in the DOB. I love doing these. I should do these more often, right? People were asking me on YouTube, and I took a poll on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, again, you guys wouldn't know because you guys don't follow me on Facebook. Okay, I get it. I ain't posted on Facebook yet. I'm sorry. Too busy. Just joking. Not joking, really. But I did post something on Twitter, and I said, hey, what do you guys like here in the DOB now that I wrap up my first year? Because you guys are going to drive the direction that I'm going in. Because obviously I'm doing this for you, and I want to know what your input. Your input is very important. It's probably the single most important thing here that I do. Because, if I'm going to, you only have 24 hours in a day. If I'm going to spend this 24 hours doing what I do, aside from watching coaches film, it takes up about 18 hours of those 24, right? What am I going to do? Right. And I'm joking. I don't watch 18 hours a day of film, but I do watch 10 to 12 hours of film. More so like on the 11 to 12 side, more than the 10 side. And then I sleep. So if I get 3-4 hours of sleep and then the rest is being at the Raiders headquarters, and then you're left with an hour and a half, an hour every time. And then how do I get workouts in? Luckily I'm building out my home gym here at home. And when I'm in a bind, I work out here, right, to maintain my gains, right, because I have an image to protect, right, brand to protect, right. So same thing. They don't, I don't want to be called BEASTwriter, or when people give me the name BEASTwriter, and then all of a sudden I'm like a $125 and I can't lift anything. This guy's really a beast, really. I spoke about it with Jakob, and Jakob knows I'm known as Beast, and it's funny because you go, nicknames earned, never self-given. And I think that's very true. Nicknames are earned, never self-given. So the fans gave me the nickname BEASTwriter, coming from the San Francisco 49ers. And we're known as beat writers because we're only a handful of people that cover the team as our 9 to 5s and Monday through Friday. And so the fans are like, no, man, you're the BEASTwriter because you compete too. You bodybuild. So BEASTwriter. BEASTwriter is coming into play as well. There's a lot of freaking feedback right now going, you guys like my stuff? Man, I didn't know what's going on. When you're going on back on your live stream, I'm like, man, I have time. But no, tell me what you guys want. Anyways, so who is Aaron Rodgers? 2005 first round pick, drafted number 24 out of Cal Berkeley. Go Bears. Bay Area kid, go Bears. Have nothing but love for Cal. All right. My good friend Andre Carter played for Cal. You guys know who Andre Carter is, obviously, right? Played for the Raiders, played for the Patriots, played for Coach Graham, played for Bill Belichick. But anyways, all right. So 59 cap numbers. Talk about cap. If you trade for Aaron Rodgers, he has a $59.5 million cap hit in 2023. In 2024, it goes down to 49.3. Wow. Whopping contract. But he's a 4-time NFL MVP, 5-time All-Pro, 4-time NFL quarterback passer rating. I know I'm getting these notifications right now. 2-time NFL passing touchdowns leader. And so, again, if you go ahead and move on from Jarrett Stidham, or you decide to keep Jarrett Stidham, I think having a bridge quarterback, because, again, these guys are toward the end of their careers, even though as good as they are, Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady is at most like a 2 to 3 year stopgap, 1 to 2 year stopgap, right? So if you thought it was good investment to go ahead and re-sign Jarrett Stidham while then going after one of those two aforementioned quarterbacks, I think that's the smartest play to go in. And again, I'm a Roll Tide Roll fan. You can roll the other way and you can go away from Jarrett Stidham, right? You can go away from Jarrett Stidham, get a new guy who to learn the system. That's going to take time because the offensive scheme is not easy to grasp, right? There's a lot of different rules of engagement based on what cover shells are doing on the other side. Too many people talk about what they're doing on the offense side of the football, but you really need to know the why. All right. I always talk about the why on the other side of it. So that means defensive schemes. You not only have to grasp offensive schemes, you have to understand the rules of engagement on the defensive side. And then that comes down to film study. Kyler Murray, if you're paying attention and watching, let me know. I'll teach you a thing or two. I'm joking. Kyler always goes back to the Kyler Murray film. I still think that's ridiculous. Anyways, so if you keep Stidham and you sign a trade for Brady or Rodgers, I think that's good. But if you roll away from Jarrett Stidham and say, hey, look, let's draft a guy like Bryce Young, who people are saying going number 1, which can happen. But let's say that the Raiders want to heavily invest and they trade up for a Bryce Young or a CJ Stroud or whatever the case may be. And again, I don't want to formulate my mock drafts yet. It's to me, it's dumb. In my opinion, not saying it's dumb to do it because I know it, people have to do it and I understand that, but I don't formulate my mock draft, especially my first one, until closer to the draft. Like, I think, I formulate one post Super Bowl. And then once I figure out the draft needs, and obviously I covered all 32 NFL teams and have game grades on that, then I formulate my analysis based on free agency, because free agency is a big part of it going into the draft. You can't just say, oh, these top 10 teams need quarterbacks, so let's just go ahead and plug and away quarterbacks there, because you don't know what's going to happen in free agency. Trades, it's always 3 surprise cuts that I do every single year. And again, the Beast Receipts checkout, go ahead and see what I have to say on the 3 surprise. Oh, how'd you know? It's like, man, like you just have to think like the GM. You have to know the financials and you have to know about the longevity and who's coming out in the draft in order to formulate that analysis. But it's a lot of work. Peeling back layers and get to the core when it talks about top 3 surprise cuts and who might not get cut. But at the end of the day, this is where we are. All right. But thank you so much, Kevin Lurker, for the super chat. I appreciate it. CG Sports Talk Channel says, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, who are your top 5 quarterbacks of all time? That is a great question. Top 5 quarterbacks of all time. Off the top of my head, I'm going to give you, it's kind of hard to say top 5 quarterbacks of all time because, again, I'm in alignment with Randy Cross, my good friend of mine. Obviously played for the San Francisco 49ers. You guys know we had a podcast together most recently this year. And gosh, you guys love that podcast, by the way. Not even a Niner fan. I learned so much from Randy. He's just a great wealth of knowledge. But no, we talked about this on our Don't Cross the Beast Empire, right? And we talked about, if you're going to talk about top 5 quarterbacks, you better understand the era that these quarterbacks are in. Because to say that Tom Brady would have the same success that a Joe Montana would, let's face it, those Bill Belichick defenses just annihilated Joe Montana, All right. And people are like, what are you talking about? He's with the New England Patriots. No, man. He was with the New York Giants before. He was with the Cleveland Browns before. I mean, come on. In fact, that Cleveland team, that defense was dynamite. But going back to the different eras and top 5 quarterbacks, in any era, if you were to ask me in any era who I think the top 5 quarterback, obviously I would put Tom Brady number 1. I mean, me and Randy just obviously can disagree about this, but I think, Tom Brady is Tom Brady. I mean, you can say, the Spygate and all this, the Deflate Gate and all this. Look, Tom Brady's Tom Brady, man. I mean, you just go back to that Super Bowl when the Atlanta Falcons were up. Kyle Shanahan, we all know the score. It was like out of reach, and then Tom Brady just comes back. I mean, to me, that's the single most impressive come from behind victory ever. The stakes were its highest. Their backs were not only against the wall, but it was game over. And Tom Brady came back and won. It was just one of the most epic Super Bowls ever. And Tom Brady just wins. And he's a Bay Area guy, so I like Tom Brady. He played at Sarah High School, my rival. I went to Independence and Piedmont Hills, but they beat us in the freaking IFC championship game. I was kind of pissed about that, but whatever. Bad vibes over at Sarah. People don't know who Sarah Barry Bonds went to Sarah High School, so all the Hogs went to Sarah High School. A great program over there. Let's keep it 100. They have a great program over there. But no, I would say Tom Brady is up there, number 1 for sure. Joe Montana has to be. I don't know. I would say Joe Montana. Maybe because I'm a Bay Area kid, I would say Joe Montana is at least 2. I don't know. Oh, no, how do you say Joe Montana's too? Peyton Manning. They have the Denver Broncos fans coming out. You have Colts fans. Oh, Peyton Manning. It's Peyton Manning. But off the top of my head, it was one of those things where, yeah, KG says Barry Bonds and Lynn Swann. There you go. Lynn Swann, another one. Pittsburgh Steeler, Lynn Swann. Who's better, Swann or Stallworth? Swann made more incredible catches and play. And again, this is before my time, but Swann made some incredible catches. But was Stallworth a better all-around wide receiver in Pittsburgh? People are like, who did he talk? See, he got to cover all 32, even while I'm not alive and my mom's, wasn't born yet. But yeah. But yeah. Kevin Lurker says, watch Johnny U film. I got to watch that now. Thank you, Kevin. I haven't seen it. Where is it on? Is it on ESPN Plus? Is it on Hulu? Is it on YouTube TV? Is it on Disney Plus? Is it on... There's all these pluses now. ESPN Plus, Disney Plus. Is there going to be an Amazon Plus? No, it's called Amazon Prime, but I'm pretty sure they're going to have Amazon Plus eventually. And it's like, oh, you have to subscribe to Amazon Plus in order to get this content, even though you have Amazon Prime in order to get this content. Crazy. They raised the prices on Disney Plus. Did you guys get the notification? If you guys don't subscribe to Disney Plus, as I'm watching it right now, I love Willow, by the way, and people make fun of me. I love Willow. I'm watching the Willow series right now, but they just raised the price on Disney Plus. I was kind of upset about that. It's at like $14.99 now. Before it was like $4.99. It was $4.99 introductory rate, and then they raised it to $9.99, and now it's $14.99. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think Disney Plus came out during COVID. Anyways. Antistic Soldier says, Beast versus Murray in the film breakdown. Now, Kyler Murray's going to be watching this and he's going to try to run me over. But hey, man, I'm not a small dude. It's going to be tough. I don't know if I could chase you, though. I don't know if I can run you down. We also know what happened in that 2-point conversion. That gives me nightmares. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, if you guys haven't heard the news yet, the NFL announced that Week 17 Bills versus Bengals will not be resumed. The game is indefinitely suspended. And I repeat, the NFL announces that Week 17 Bills versus Bengals game will not be resumed and has been canceled. It is now. So what does that go down as, a win or a loss? How does that figure? I mean, how do you figure that out? I guess the Bills would. I don't know. How does that work? I don't know. It was 7-3, right? It was a 7-3 ball game. Rocker Corey, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Yeah. All right, so we just talked about Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. I would love Aaron Rodgers to come and play with Davante Adams. I think that would be a good move. And again, the 39 of you guys watching, if you guys like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you have yet to do so. And we will be running cool family giveaways here in the DOB, only exclusive here on YouTube subscribers. So be sure to engage with me so I know that you follow me. Otherwise, how would I know? Because YouTube is very different from Instagram, very different from all the other social media platforms like, well, Facebook, that you can't really tell. Oh, no, yeah, now I can tell. I can tell who follows me on my Facebook page and everything else. But again, if you're watching here on whatever media platform you're on, social media platform you're on, that it's not YouTube, go to YouTube, go ahead and open the channel. And so you can subscribe to the channel. It's free. Like a subscribe is free and the giveaways are free. So why not subscribe to the channel? Because you'll get really cool giveaways. I'm telling you, I'm going to post it up on the community page on YouTube. Also, if you follow me on Twitter, let's grow the Twitter channel too, and that outlet as well. So subscribe on Twitter, and we're just going to grow this thing and keep going, right? Keep the silver and black content hot year round. There's no stoppage here. I'm going to post fitness gains as well now that it's off season, so you guys can get some workouts. And again, if you're thinking about getting online coaching or looking into that aspect of it, personal training, hit me up, slide in my DM as you guys already do, and I'll be doing the best to get back to you guys, and hopefully I can help you out. There are people that have been hitting me up for personal training. I am filling up. So there's only, I think I only have time for maybe 4 or 5 spots left. But again, it's just based on my work schedule. So the best advice, if you guys are looking to get into some personal training or getting into some online coaching, because I do it online. So if you're in New York, I have some customers and clients who are in Chicago, New York, Hawaii. Let me know. I mean, you can get this just this the same amount of gains in, because I do weekly check-ins with you guys and actually teach you guys the process of what it takes to get fit. So if you're a female, same difference, right? People, oh, I won't get buff like that. It's like, you don't have to get buff, just be fit. And, people from all ages, from senior citizens to like high school athletes to pro athletes, to the Golden State Warriors cheerleaders. I trained some of them during the NBA finals run. So, I do it all. And so hit me up. I got you covered, right? I got you covered. And let's get you fit here in the DOB. Let's do it. Let's live your best life, right? And so I think the best investment you can make for anything is in yourself, right? That's just my personal opinion. And people say, oh, you look so young. How do you do it? I say, man, I stay fit. Like literally, I go to the gym and they don't believe my age. When I tell them, I'm on trending toward 40. And you're like, no, you're not. And like, I get ID'd all the time. Like, nah, man, you're like 26, 27. Nah, man, I'm old. And then you see people who are actually my age and they're not, they don't get in the gym, or, I'm not saying you have to get in the gym, but, stay active, right? Just walking your dog around the block or doing that, just be active for 30 minutes makes a huge difference in your life, right? And my opinion, because if you're going to eat bad, you're going to have to make it up somewhere. And if you don't, it's just going to accumulate, and then you're going to have heart problems, health problems, diabetes, all that stuff later on. Like that's just the nature of the beast. So would you rather pay a little now or a lot later? Either way, you're going to be paying. So for me, that's how I always put it. Rocket Corey says, is it really hard to gain muscles? Can't be scared of that. No, it's not. That's the funny thing is like all the people and especially the females, all my friends, my homegirls and everything that are fit. The first thing they go to is, I don't want to look like you, obviously. Well, you're not going to look like me. That'd be really crazy. But they're afraid that they're going to get big. And then once they start training with me, the booty gains come into play, right? All, everything, their legs are bigger, but they're more toned. So it's all about toning. And the first thing that girls say is they point to the arms, like, oh, like, how do I get, well, if I had it, but anyways, right here, how do I get this back? They call it back arm fat. Well, it's just your tricep, right? And I teach them like, okay, there's tricep workouts you can do. So you can do this. But then at the end of the day, it's like your body is one big, it's like one big project, right? You can't just focus on one area because it just doesn't work that way. So you have to build up your legs, you have to build up the foundation. So it's a process. And so once they understand that, then they're like, oh yeah, I understand it now. Yeah, before I was just trying to focus on one area. It didn't really, yeah, it's not going to work. You can't just say, oh, I want to just get this back fat right here. That's the thing that goes on. It's the gut, the belly area, the back fat, and then the arm fat. That's what they want to lose. Trust me, ask any girl. Any girl who's watching right now, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's not as simple as that. So cardio comes into play, and all these different things come into play. There's a whole list of things that we can focus on. But yeah, if you guys are looking into that, throw me a DM. I got you guys covered. Yeah, DMS says sub to Beast at the youtube.com at Beast. Yes, subscribe to my YouTube channel. You'll be good. You'll be better off for it. But we talked about Bryce Young, right? So we talked about roll Tide, roll Bryce Young. If they move on for Jarrett Stidham, they bring in Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and then now you can draft a guy like Bryce Young. You're going to have to trade up for him, obviously, because I don't think he's going to leave the top 5. That's without sure. I've been covering Bryce Young for Hot Mike and covering him at Alabama since his true freshman year. So when you talk about a guy like Bryce Young, who played, behind Mac Jones and all these other quarterbacks throughout the years, or I should say after Mac Jones, you really have to take it for what it is, right? And Bryce Young, I hate when people say, hate's a strong word, but I hate when people say, because they really don't know. This is something, when people talk about his frame and say, oh, he's going to get hurt, like, it's like, there's certain people, maybe because I'm in the bodybuilding industry, but if it's really not your avenue to go into that space, don't go into it, because people like me will call you out on it, just putting it out there. When people say he's too small, me and my friends laugh at that in the bodybuilding. It's just like, look at his frame, right? Look at his frame. The guy you can bulk up without compromising any of that strength, any of that lateral agility, anything, right? The mobility, the arm strength, the ROM, right? You're not going to compromise any of that because he has the frame to fill out. Now, other players, you just know, like, okay, what you're getting, what you see is basically what you get, right? So if he's an ectomorph, an endomorph, or a mesomorph, you got to know the difference between the three and the body composition between the three. And again, that goes back to personal training, online coaching. So people are like, what the hell? What's ectomorph, endomorph, and mesomorph? That's why you guys are here in the DOB. We'll go ahead and talk about this. There's a lot of fitness things, I've been kind of dibbly-dabbling with it, and I get the most views. Honestly, I would say the most views from my YouTube views and Instagram views and all that, and my reels come from my bodybuilding. It's funny because people, I never really understood it, because it's like, I don't get much likes from them, I'll be honest with you, but the views just go through the roof. So it's crazy, which means people are watching, which means if it wasn't good, they wouldn't be watching. And then I had people like chiming in. I have trolls chiming in. Oh yeah, that's not how you get abs. You're swinging your body. It's like, okay. And I put it back on. I'm like, okay, if you're going to call me out, I'm going to call you out. So I put it back on like this. Okay, well, first of all, it's hard to take someone serious who doesn't have a serious avatar as the profile picture. Second of all, I want to see your abs. And then they go ghost. So put your money where your mouth is. I'm down. Results based. Results speak for themselves. Phil Romero says, Beast, who do you like for the Raiders' first pick? That depends on what they do in the offseason, right? We don't know what's going to go on in the offseason. So if I go out and say Bryce Young and they draft, they don't draft, and they go out and get and trade for a guy like Aaron Rodgers, or they sign Tom Brady, or go after a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo and free agent, whatever the case may be, then it's almost like, okay, well, remember when you said Bryce Young is the first one? So I don't know. I'm going to reserve the right to give that analysis. And again, I don't like doing it until, again, we have to see how the pieces come into play, right? Because let's face it, GM Dave Ziegler has the scouting department and the pro personnel doing their due diligence. So their eyes, they have to forecast, right? It's their responsibility to forecast who they believe these teams are not going to sign or re-sign next year, right? Just like the Raiders with their own, right? There's a lot of guys who've been elevated from the practice squad. A lot of guys were healthy scratches. So what's going to happen with those guys? Matthew Butler, Neil Farrell, Kyle Pecco. We had guys that they came in, right, that they got and claimed off other people's practice squads or just signed, right? Like Javelin Guidry was here for a little bit. Obviously, they brought in Tyler Hall. So, there's a lot of different dynamics on what's going on. And so exactly, that's just with the Raiders, right? So if you multiply that by 32 NFL teams, it's your job from a pro player personnel standpoint to formulate a list of the guys that you think are scheme fits, but then actually can embody the Raider way. So if they were called upon to get elevated to the active roster, they have the high football IQ and the mental toughness that we talked about earlier on this live stream to really get it done with no drop off in production or a little drop off in production from a mental standpoint. From a coaching perspective, I wouldn't be upset if a guy was in perfect position to make the play, did everything right on the play and got beat. Why? Because you can't really count him. Your skill set can only take you so far. So if you run a 4.3, you're going to make that play. But if you're on a 4.5, 4.6, and you get beat out in open space, I'm not going to, but you're in the best position to make plays. You did everything right. I'm not going to pin you on that, or I'm not going to be as hard on you on that because you can't coach speed. Like, you can't tell a 4.3 guy or a 4.6 guy to run a 4.3 or a 4.2. It just doesn't, like, that. Anybody, that's stupid. Like, doesn't happen. Like, I'm sorry. Salvatore Bruin says, "Do you hear NFL concerning 8 teams, AFC and NFC playoffs? How would that affect the Raiders if they announced this officially?" Did you hear NFL concerning 8 teams? I don't know what you mean by that, Salvatore Bruno. So yeah. B says, "Who do you like for the Raiders second or first?" KG says, "Do you believe the rumors that Jim Harbaugh returned to the NFL now that Michigan was eliminated?" He said he was going to return to Michigan. I covered Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh likes me. He told me his last day there in San Francisco, he's like, "I like you." I don't know why he likes me. No, I know why he likes me. I'm going to keep that conversation between Jim. But no, look, Jim, Coach Harbaugh is Coach Harbaugh. He's going to do whatever he wants. I don't know. He always keeps his options open, but he's also very smart in leveraging what he wants. And I think ultimately, he does stay in Michigan, but it wouldn't surprise me if he took a job and went somewhere else. Nothing gets past me. Gets past when it comes to him. Edgar V says, "Like your content, new subscriber. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Means a lot. Means a lot. And if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, we are in 1 hour and 7 minutes and 12 seconds. There's 38 of you guys watching, so give this video a thumbs up. That will help the algorithm and push the algorithm here on YouTube and on Twitter and all those other lovely social media outlets that we're on daily, like Instagram, like Facebook, to other like-minded Raider Nation like yourself. Hey, look, if you guys like the video, it'll push it to them and be a recommended video on YouTube, and then those people can recommend it to others. And again, by you not doing it, you won't be eligible for Raider giveaways, which includes Raider tickets to the game. That's where I want to be. I want to give you guys Raider tickets to the game, but we can only do that because, again, it's a collective effort if you guys push the content. And if you guys don't like the content, don't like it. It's plain and simple. Thumbs it down for all I care. But if you do like it, which is about 9 out of 10 of you guys, because you wouldn't be watching if you didn't like it, unless you're just trying to be a bad person and troll, which that'd be weird, kind of stalkish. But if you're one of those people, cool. That helps in engagement too, because that means that you're watching. So again, push this video on. Everyone's on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook after this video concludes, or if you go after this stream, I challenge you guys, for all you new subscribers, Edgar V, you're a new subscriber, go back, watch my other live streams, go back and watch my locker room interviews, not just this one, after this one concludes, and you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see what I'm talking about. And if you like it, hey, look, push it to other subscribers, push it to other people here on YouTube, and really show the love. You guys can post on the community page, and you guys can tag me. I'll give you guys shout out just like I do on Instagram and all my stories. SVT Vasquez knows all about this. Raider Room knows all about this. Wayne Mabry, obviously you guys know him as the Violator 57, knows all about this. And we will go ahead, and again, there's a lot of stuff in the works here with the Silver and Black content here. Made the concerted effort to move here to Las Vegas, cover the Las Vegas Raiders here in 2022 and beyond for the foreseeable future, which means forever. And I'm living every second of it. But again, we need to grow, and we need to grow fast. So if you guys like the content, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And then also follow me on all the other respective social media platforms. So if you're watching on YouTube, Twitter, or Instagram, it's right here, right? So I'm just going to show it for you guys where you guys can find me. I'll just bring this comment down. So it's right here. Well, this side. It's right here in the lower right-hand corner at BEASTwriter. Just type that in. You guys are probably watching on your phones right now anyways, because 90% of people are on phones these days, not on a desktop. And you guys can go ahead and subscribe to me, and you'll be entered for those weekly giveaways. Tomorrow's Friday, so we run a giveaway tomorrow. All right? So you guys won't want to be entered for giveaways just for subscribing to the YouTube channel or follow me on Twitter or whatever the case may be, Instagram. Subscribe to the social media, man. That's all I gotta say. Subscribe. All right. D-Man says, smash that like button, DLB family. Yeah, and here's the funny thing. We are launching, I told D-Man this, we are launching DLB swag. And it's very expensive swag. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say it's cheap. It's not. But I'm all about quality. So we're coming out with high quality, the best quality, made and designed in the U.S. by yours truly. And we are coming up with some nice DLB swag. I mean, it's stuff that you're going to look at it and just know you're getting a quality sweatshirt that's going to last you 5 to 10 years. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm very excited about it. It's a long process. It's been in the works. Dennis knows about this. But everyone's going to be excited about it because you're going to look at it and you're going to be like, dang. And again, I'm going to be giving away some of my DLB swag for free, just for supporting me. So by supporting me, whether it be a super chat, super sticker, a like, a comment, you're entered, right? And so that's what it's all about. So again, you're going to want to subscribe to the channel for that reason. Why not? Like, who else does that? I'm going to say, who else does that every single week? Even in the off season, who does that? Who does that? Who does that? Name one. Herman Schmidt says, you go, bro. Don't let people bug you. You're a lot different than most. I like it. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the love. Auntie Sixoy says, supposedly the NCAA is looking at the Michigan football program for possible violations. Yikes. Wow. I didn't know about this. I did not know about this. I didn't hear about this. I'm so stuck on the silver and black in the NFL and just trying to finish the season strong with live streams. I haven't done a live stream. This is my first live stream of 2023, believe it or not. Here we are on January 5th. So I'm going to be pushing more live streams. I did something on the YouTube community page, and I put the same exact questionnaire up on my Twitter. And I kind of knew where the engagement is on Twitter. People on Twitter are into like my locker room interviews and my game film breakdowns. All right. So that's what Twitter loves, right? My Twitter peeps, that sounds cool. My Twitter peeps love that stuff, right? Which is awesome. I would love it too. Shoot, it's cool stuff. Okay, cool story. No, I think it's cool. It takes a long time. Like, I'll be honest with you, those game film breakdowns that are like maybe like a 30-second clip take me like an hour and a half to make. I'm telling you, it takes a while, like sometimes 2 hours to make, because one, you're asking the question, then you're going back to decipher the question, breaking down the film, which you already had broken down anyways, because you already watched the game film, and then having to figure out what images to use to pull from so that people can really see what you're talking about without using words when breaking down the all 22 film. And then also keeping people engaged to where now my questionnaire and the answering from the player ties into the film study that I just presented to yourself. It's a lot. That's just one clip. It takes a lot of time, but I'm all here for it. So I do it all for you in the DOB. But I did not know about the violations. That's crazy. Kevin Lurk says, what traits do you feel Bryce Young needs to improve on to be successful in the NFL? That's a great question. I mean, there's always things that you can improve on. I think from a coaching perspective, you never want to get too high or get too low, right? And so I think with Bryce Young, I think what he does have going for him is he's very smart at going through his progressions. Now, when plays break down, he kind of drops his eyes sometimes. Luckily, he's very well coached at a very well coached program in Alabama, me being biased, but in a Roll Tide Roll guy. But one of the things that I would like to see him do more is keep his eyes downfield. Now, again, being a smaller frame guy, right? Being a smaller frame guy, you're going to have to save him from himself, because if he scrambles, people are going to have the perception that he's going to get rattled, right? But again, if you build up that frame, because has the frame to be built up without compromising any of his NFL traits that you really look for from an NFL prototypical quarterback, then from that perspective, you have something to work with there. But ultimately, things that he needs to work on, I'm going to be breaking that down with game film. I'm already in the works on that, so I don't want to ruin the dynamic of that video, because there's a lot to talk about when it comes to Bryce Young that people really don't or may not know about, right? And so again, you talk to different people around the league too, and look, you have to come up with a formula, right? You have to come up with an analysis. They're not just going to give it to you, but hey, what do you think of this player? And then they're going to feed you different. I mean, people do that, but like the way I like to do it, I like to watch coaches film, form my own analysis, and then go to them, be like, hey, this is what I see. Am I on the right track, or what are you seeing? And sometimes they agree, sometimes they disagree, right? But it's up to you to really do the legwork on it. And so I think that's what makes, again, the draft so fun. That's my favorite time of the year. I'm telling you guys right now, the draft is my favorite time of the year. You go ask my girlfriend, you go ask my friends, family and friends, they would tell you the draft is where it's at. Like, I love the draft. I love the draft. I know what teams' needs are. I know what GM's tendencies, biases are. I know what some of the scouts, where they like to go and where they like to travel, if that's a tell or if that's a smokescreen. If you guys followed me last year here in the DOB, I said the Miami Dolphins are going to be trading out of number 3. And people are like, oh, yeah, why would you say they're trading out of number 3? Yeah, right. Ha, 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 ha. I said, they're going to be trading number 3. What happened? Miami Dolphins trade out of number 3. So you're going to like, or 2 years ago, it was 2 years ago, right? The Trey Lance deal. But you're going to like what I have to say. All right. You're going to like what I have to say. Also, straight from Vegas, right? People ask me, I was from Mandalay Bay. I was in the Bay Area from Mandalay Bay. They had me on because they knew I was good with mock drafts. And obviously people make predictions on who's going to get drafted where, right? So people made a lot of money on this. They said, how do you think the top 5 quarterbacks are going to go in the 2021 NFL draft? I said, you know what? I'll give you the rundown, right? So I said, Trevor Lawrence going to go 1 to Jaguars. Zach Wilson going to go 2. I know people are saying, obviously, Mac Jones is going number 3, but I'm saying Trey Lance is going to go number 3. And people are like, oh, that's crazy. I was like, yeah. National media all said Mac Jones. I said, no, it's Trey Lance, number 3. Trust. Trey Lance 1 3. And I said, Justin Fields is, and then they said, oh, who's going to make a splash? I said, oh, who's going to make the big splash on day 1? I said, Ryan Pace from the Chicago Bears. He's going to trade up for a quarterback. Might be Justin Fields. Trade up for Justin Fields. And they said, oh, New England Patriots, are they going to trade up? Like, what's going on with that? I said, nah, I'm hearing that they're going to stay pat or trade back, and hopefully Mac Jones falls. Boom, Mac Jones falls. That's 5 quarterbacks all in a row I got right. You know how many people made money off that? I know, because I got the DMs. Hey, thanks, man. I'm like, oh my God, am I going to see any of that? Send me a super chat like Keith Murphy. Keith Murphy knows. He says, long time no see. I saw you last week. You moved to the dark side. Good luck with the Raiders, bro. I appreciate it, man. I didn't move. It's funny. It's funny because, like, people knew that I moved, but I really didn't announce it to anyone. In fact, my own family and friends some of my family didn't even know that I moved to Vegas. I just went. Obviously, my immediate family knew, but, I was so in the, like, I was telling people that I caught up with the 49ers, my coworkers are like, I didn't know you moved to Vegas. Like, I was like, yeah, man, I just moved. Like, because I covered training. I was in the zone. I was working, right? I'm there. I'm here to work, right? So I was living out of an Airbnb, and my thinking is a lot of you guys probably had me on mute because I was posting some Raider content. And you guys probably didn't like it. Not saying you, Keith, but I'm just saying in general. And so it's funny thing is I know it got around because I was at the tailgates before the game. I wasn't drinking or anything, obviously. But I was meeting up with, the Niner Empire chapters and catching up with them, and they knew about it. And the funny thing about it was, I guess they didn't, like, random people would not know that I switched to the dark side unless you, like, religiously follow me. And so, like, obviously you guys follow your own content creators that you want to follow, but yeah, I think once that hit and people knew about it, and then some people didn't know about it, people are like, oh man, that sucks. Blah, blah, blah. But then other people are like, hey man, whatever, it's cool. He's still the BEASTwriter. He still posts like fitness stuff and workout videos. So I'll follow you for that. And also you cover all 32 with grading systems. So yeah, it was one of those things where people knew, but then some people didn't know. And so now I know, back in the Bay Area, I know people talking about it. Trust, I know. Because people are telling me that people are talking about it, and they're like, when are you coming back to the Niners? And I'm like, I'm not coming back to the Niners. I'm here in Vegas, and I love it. And so been dealing with that. But hearing that the Niner fans, the Niner faithful want me back in the Bay Area, covering the team, it's humbling. It's humbling. But I would say that I am very happy here in Vegas, and I probably won't move back. Probably won't be back because I made the move out to Vegas, and I love the Las Vegas Raiders, love covering them. Just like I still have love for my 49er fan base. I still have love for all of you guys. But here in the DOB, that's where it's at. But thank you so much, Keith. I appreciate you. Always appreciate you hopping on the live streams. And like I said, man, I can talk football. When the playoffs run around, the Raiders ain't in the playoffs, so I can talk 49er football if you guys want me to. I mean, I've been watching them every single snap. You guys know I run grades, so ain't nothing new here in the DOB, man. So yeah, man. But yeah, I definitely moved. But thank you so much for the super chat, man. It's been a minute. It's been a minute for sure. All right, Jesus Soria says, do the players in the locker room seem happier with DC? I wouldn't say they're happier. I don't think they're happier. If I was, oh yeah, they're definitely happier that DC's gone. Oh my, no. People love DC. Let me just make it a point. People love DC. A lot of the players love DC, not just like DC, they love DC. It is a situation where it was kind of, and again, today was the last day of practice. So today was like what we like to call Fast Friday here in the Raiders media. We call it Fast Friday because it's zoom, 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 and then you're gone. So with that being said, it wasn't like dark and gloomy. I think it was the same vibe that I'm accustomed to being in, which is a high energy vibe. I've been told by one player who I'm not going to name, that practice went really well. He said it was one of the best practices that they've had this year. And this is coming from a very credible source. He's a star player on the team. But getting back to it, yeah, I think that everyone understands that the NFL is a business at the end of the day, right? And so we all have some humanistic approach to certain players or certain teammates or certain coaches, right? But at the end of the day, you have to also understand that the NFL is a business and it's a very cutthroat business. So if you're not getting it done, your job's on the line to get the next player in line to be the next man up and get it done, right? Otherwise, you'll be the next man gone. And so it's either you or him, right? Like, hey, look, like you're not getting it done, man. So we have to bring someone else in, right? I mean, that's just the nature of the beast, right? And I think sometimes, and I can honestly say this again, I have friends around the league. You go around the league and you say the two N words that run rampant, right? The two N words that will run rampant here in the NFL is narcissism and nepotism, right? Narcissism and nepotism. Those are two things that are very alive and well. So to put everything in perspective, you have to do what you feel is the right thing to do, right? And GM Dave Ziegler and head coach Josh McDaniels and offensive coordinator Mick Lombardi and Bo Hardigree, quarterback's coach, thought it was better served to go in another direction. And again, if you were to tell me, was I surprised that Jarrett Stidham had the success he had? I would tell you no. What I tell you in the live stream, what to expect from Jarrett Stidham, all those things came to fruition. It's not a secret here in the deep. That's why you guys follow me. You don't follow me for stuff in hindsight. Like, oh yeah, like he threw for this. Like, let's analyze that now. It's like, no, man, I said this before it even happened. Like, come on. That's why some days I don't know what to talk about because I already covered it. And then 2-3 days a game happens and it's like, oh, we already talked about what was going to happen. So what do we talk? What do we talk about? Daniel Kim, my guy, says, salute my brother, about to start driving and can't chat per usual. Hit those likes. Good vibes only for the DOB family. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Oh, yeah, it's crazy. People don't know that, again, the Niner Empire before the game, I was catching up with all of them, right? And then, because we walked by the tailgate, and so people kick, Beast, what's going on? Come over here. Like, I haven't talked to you in years, and so what's going on with you? Are you going to come back to the Bay Area, San Jose? Like, what's going on? Are you still going to the gym that used to go off of a Calaveras and 24-hour fitness? And I was like, no, man, like I'm at EOS. Like, what's EOS? I'm like, oh, it's here in Vegas. Like, what? Like, you're not coming back? I'm like, no, I'm not coming back. I love the Raider Nation. I tell you what, someone asked me the other day, what's the vibe like? Coworker, or former coworker said, what's the vibe like here with us? Because he's always been intrigued. I was like, man, I love it. I love the people here. I love the PR staff here. The GM, the executives, the scouts, everyone's just genuine. Everyone's dope. Everyone's just on their grind. I think I fit into the cultural identity of the team of the Raider, right? Even though I don't work for them or anything, but I work with them, right, as a beat writer, and I gravitate toward people who put in the work, right, who hustle and grind. Now, I'm not saying the Niners don't do. Obviously, they do, but I want to be with people like that, with the Niners, like people. Surround yourself with good people who actually do good work and honest work, and are in that hustle and grind. Because let me tell you something: the moment you lose that hunger for success is the moment you grow, right? So you're going to always want to be the best version of yourself. How do you do that? By pushing yourself, pushing your limits, right? And that's what they do here. Like, everyone's on their grind. All the people I work with, right? All the beat writers, from Adam Hill to Vinny Bonsignori to PG, Paul Gutierrez, Cassie Soto, Heidi Fang. I mean, Q. You guys know Q Boy, right? So Tashawn Reed, Vic Tafer, all these guys, Kevin from Fox 5, Kevin Bollinger. So all these guys, and I'm probably, Mark Anderson, the list goes on and on. If I'm missing someone, Case Kiefer, right? So like all these people, Ed Graney, right? I don't want to leave anyone out, but there's only a few of us that are there Monday through Friday, and actually put in that work, for all of you to enjoy. So everyone provides a fresh perspective, and they do a really good job at that. Honda Carpenter. So like, don't want to leave anyone out, but everyone has their own little ways of how they want to go about doing stuff, and they do a really good job at that. And yeah, it's been nothing but Big Rob, who shoots, right? Does a really good job shooting. So yeah, it's just one of those things where it's been nothing but good vibes, man. Everyone's been welcoming me with open arms, for the first day of training camp. Obviously, I think you have to earn your stripes, right? When I'm the new kid on the block, and I am the new kid on the block, well, not the newest kid on the block anymore, but I was, right, when the season began. Now that Mark Anderson's here, and he does a really good job, but he's been here for years, so technically I'm still the new kid on the block. Here in Vegas, that is, not with not in covering NFL, but you really have to earn your stripes. And how do you do that? Well, you grind it out, man. You put in that unquestioned work ethic. And I think that's something that you can't really tell someone to have that unquestioned work ethic. You either have it or you don't. It's just like Hart, man. You can't coach Hart. You either have it or you don't. You're going to put in the work or you're not going to put in the work. Kyler Murray, you have to be told to put in the work. Let's not get it twisted. Like that's to me, that puts a strain on your character, your football character, not your personal character. I don't know you as a person, but I mean, for that to come out like that, it does, like, from an outsider's perspective, you're going to kind of feel some type of way about it, right? Like, if you don't only watch 4 hours of game film a week and I watch 10 hours of game film a day, and you get paid millions and I get paid pennies, where's the passion for the game? Where's the passion for the game? Is your heart in it? Or you're just in it to earn a paycheck? Look, I have some friends, all right? And again, you guys know who my friends are, and they're all, good players, Pro Bowl players, played for the Niners, right? One of my friends who I still keep in touch with, right? Actually, I keep in touch with all of them, but one of them said, "Hey, just between me and you, I don't like football. I just do it to earn a paycheck." This guy's a Pro Bowl player. He said straight up, "I don't like football. I just do it to earn a paycheck." And I respect that. I respect it, and I respect it in a way. Well, I guess I should say respect it. I respect him being honest, but I mean, I look at this and be like, wait, what? Like, you don't love football? But the truth of the matter is, the perception is, from a fan perspective, you guys believe that all these players love playing football. They don't. That's just the honest truth. They don't. Some of them just do it to earn a paycheck, and they're that good at it because there's only so many who are just as talented as them, right? So, it's funny, but that's just the way it goes. Thank you so much, Daniel Kim. I appreciate it. Raider Dome says, thank you so much for the super sticker, my man. I appreciate you. Raider Dome, thank you so much. I really appreciate the super sticker. What's funny is I'm on StreamYard right now, but it's funny when I go to the sticker, it's really difficult to put it up. I see it. So I have to go to YouTube in order to see what the super sticker is. But thank you so much. I see it now. Keep it up with the weights. I like it. Okay, so you want some workouts then. I get it. I got you. I got you guys covered. I'm gonna be posting more workout videos for you. Again, it's the off season. when technically there really is no off season here in the DOB because again, we tie in football and fitness. That's why you see the shield with the barbell running across the DOB logo with the football at the bottom. Cool logo, right? Well, we're going to launch some DOB swag for all of you guys. So if you guys like silver and black content, you guys are obviously here in the DOB family. Spread the family word to all your family and friends as we keep things hot here in the DOB. But yeah, I'm just being 100% when it comes down to people that just do it for a living. Look, Elliot even says, right? All professional sports that happens honestly. It does. It honestly does. And I can honestly say it does because I know. I know. You may not have a love or a passion for the game, but you may be really good at it. So just think if you put your passion and heart into the game, how much better you would be. I mean, that's what I told my friend this. I told my friend this. I said, look, you're already a Pro Bowl player, like year in and year out. Just think if you put in full effort here as opposed to here, you put in that little extra work, you'd be an all pro, not just a pro. It's like, yeah, but I get paid more money off, Pro Bowls. I was like, okay, dude, whatever. All good. All good. I'm not hating. I'm just saying. Like for me, I don't know. Maybe I guess I'm wired different. I always loved playing sports and to do it for a living where only so few. And I talked with my guy Duron Harmon, right? Duron Harmon, again, he needs to be brought back. I think he's going to be brought back. Question was brought up to me by my guy Daniel Kim on whether or not Duron Harmon's going to be brought back and what my thoughts are as an insider on that. And I think Duron Harmon will be brought back. Now watch him not be brought back. No, I think Duron Harmon's going to be brought back. He's too valuable from a leadership standpoint. He's like an extra coach on the field, especially as the high eraser role, which we talked about in my game film breakdowns. But Duron Harmon gets everyone in place. And I think when you have a safety like that who can be the quarterback of the secondary, that's going to add value to Coach Graham's system because Coach Graham's system is very complex. It's a hybrid type of a defense. And I talked about, if you guys caught up on my Locker Room Pulse interview today that I posted in regards to Isaac Rochelle, the newcomer, and I talked about the hybrid defense that Coach Graham provides and what that means for him coming in as a newcomer. You're going to want to see what I have to say about that. That's what I'm saying. Stay on top of it. You guys got to watch all my videos, so when I hop on the live stream, you know what I'm talking about with no drop-off from production from your standpoint. I'm doing the work too, but you guys also got to do the work and watch the videos so you guys know what's going on. And you're like, nah, man, that's too much. I don't expect you to watch every single video. That'd be crazy. Like, yeah, you have to watch every single video. Hit all the little buttons there. Tap like for 10 jumping jacks. I see it on other social media channels. So they're like, yeah, hit like, subscribe, flex. Like, what is going on? What is going on here? Herman says, I've been working out 23 years, sucks getting older, but you don't have to go so hard. The good thing, but you can always learn new things. Yes. Yeah, that's very true. You can always learn new things. Look, you're always constantly growing, always constantly learning. Look, I learn new things every day. For example, all right, so my coach, who I'm coached by Omar Ventura, Team Ventura, you guys know who he is. He's like one of the most well-known bodybuilders in the world. All right. So Coach Omar would tell me, hey man, like I want you to do some lateral raises, right? So he's teaching me how to do the proper lateral raises. But then also what I noticed too is the time under tension. We too often we overlook the concentric versus eccentric motion. And when players work out, I see it sometimes, and I'm not there to correct them. They have their strength and conditioning coach for that. But you want to put stress on the muscle, right? You want to put stress on the muscle. And how do you do that? Well, you want to use time under tension on a lot of these, whether it be a compound movement or isolated movement. And so when you're doing lateral raises, you really want to put that time under tension. So when you go up and raise your arm and then you come back down, you don't want to come back down all the way on your side because you're losing that eccentric motion to where it's now at a resting point, and now you're at a resting point where the muscle just stops. You want that muscle to grow. How do you get that muscle to grow is blood flow, right? And so again, when you go up and do a lateral raises, because what you want is you want to build up the lateral head, the cap, right? The cap. And the caps are considered your delts. And so that's why people have these big broad shoulders. Oh man, how do you get those big shoulders? Well, it's like, well, one is bodybuilding. So like, you have to work on the different types of the heads of the delt, right? You have medial, you have your lateral, you have anterior, right? So you have to work on those lateral heads. Sometimes I go to the gym all the time and I see people looking up YouTube videos, which I'm going to be posting, so I'll be one of them too. Um, but they're doing that worked out wrong. And so I think it's not my job to correct them because I'm in my own grind and whatever happens, happens. I mean, I'm not going to be like, hey, you're doing this wrong, son. It's like, no, man. But they come up to me and ask for me advice, like Miles did the other day. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and help you out wherever I can. But at the end of the day, I would say be careful of who you follow because not everyone is going to give you free content. They'll just give you the tidbits, and that's how you'll be susceptible to injury. So really be careful with who you follow. There's a lot of great content out there, but then they don't give you the full scope of exactly how to perform the workout, and that's where injury comes into play. Because again, you guys got to remember, not everything is free. It might be free on YouTube for you to watch and try to mimic the video, but there's certain things that I look for that you would otherwise wouldn't know unless I pointed it out in the video. And they're very strategic about how they want to do it because that's money. That's money for them. So keeping it 100. So be careful. I see too many people doing that. Alfredo says, I finally caught one of your lives. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? I appreciate it, Alfredo, and thank you so much for hopping on the stream and dropping a comment. Super chat, super stickers are great. Comments are just as good. Likes are just as good. 35 of you guys watching, so let me know how you like this live stream. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And salute to you, Alfredo. All right, so I just want to go ahead for an hour and 36. If you guys have any questions, I'm going to open it up to you guys. If you guys have any questions that you guys want answered, shoot me those in the comment section. I'll be sure to get back to you guys as best I can. I am running on 10% battery right now, so I may need to – that may be a sign for me to sign off and charge my computer. But, yeah, I think I'm going to have to do that. Or I can move my stuff over, keep it plugged in, right? I can plug my computer at the same time, and I think that works, right? No? I don't know. I kind of want to stay on because there's nothing much going on because I'll tell you, there's no practice tomorrow, all right? Herman Smith says, what's the percentage we get Tom? I think it's going to be a 65% chance. 65% chance that Tom Brady comes in the silver and black uniform. Let me just go ahead and plug in my battery here because I don't want to get cut off midstream, and then that's a bad look for all of you guys. Be like, Beast, where'd you go? I don't even know if this thing is going to reach. I'll be honest with you. I'll do my best. Oh shoot, I don't think it's going to reach. It ain't reaching. All right, so I got to go this way. Hold on. Give me a second. People are going to be watching this live stream in replay, be like, what is he doing? Sliding to the right like that. I'm kick sliding like an offensive tackle. What do you think I'm doing? I'm using an angle set, not a vertical set. I'm not like this. I'm coming at an angle. You guys know what I'm talking about? Well, that's fundamentals. And it's funny, like people are like, oh, you can't break down one-on-one drills. That's talking ski. It's like, no, it's not. It's fundamentals. Like fundamentals. Calm down. There's a difference between scheme and fundamentals. Know the difference between the two. All right, let me just go ahead and the players were hella laughing too. Like, that's fundamentals. Like, I know. It's fundamentals. It's fundamentals. I don't know what to tell you. It's fundamentals, dude. All right. Oh, it works. We got it. It's kind of weird. Is that better? I don't know. Is that better? Herman says that's better than 50. It is better than 50-50. It really is. It really is. I feel like so weirded out right now because like everything's like off center. Ooh, would that be better? Maybe that's better. Maybe if I angle set or vertical set it this way. Or try to use a jump set and come right at you. Do you guys know the difference between the 3 pass sets and Pass Pro? If you guys don't know what a jump set is, an angle set is, or a vertical set, I'm going to go ahead and break it down in my game film breakdowns. But I know the difference between the 3. Alfredo says, what kind of split do you do at the moment? Well, it depends on what my coach says and what my coach wants. So, usually especially when I'm on prep, which I'm not right now. So I just do what the hell I want. Like, I'm not on prep right now. I was looking good before the season. Like during training camp, I looked really good. I'll be admit. Like now, I added muscle to my frame, so I was at 136, which I'd never been that light in 12 years. But it was all muscle. It was all muscle. And so I went from 136 to now 152, and I gained a lot of muscle. But I also gained fat. Not much fat, but I would say 4 or 5 pounds of fat. Still at around, I don't know, I would say I'm about 10, 12% body fat. 12, yeah, I like going higher. I would say 12% body fat. But then now that it's going to be off season, I'm going to be bringing that down to about 8% body fat. From there, I don't know if I go on prep, and then that will determine my split. But usually, I'll do a push and a pull day, right? And I think the whole dynamic of doing push pull days is when you're using movements that kind of mimic each other on the secondary muscles. And so if you're doing chest day where you're going to try to work out your tricep, right? You want to work out your tricep as well and exhaust those because that's the secondary muscle. If your chest is the primary workout, then you're going to be working on your triceps, right? It's a push movement. If it's a pull movement like bicep curls, or if you're looking at your back, again, you're going from a small muscle group to a larger muscle group. So again, you're getting the best of both worlds because you're working out the secondary muscles. Outside of that, you're also activating your core based on some of the workouts that you're doing. So again, if you're I see a lot of people sitting down doing bicep curls, which is cool because you're isolating the bicep. But then you can also, if you have good form, you can isolate the bicep stand up, and when you do that, you're activating your core strength. And so for me, I'm all about efficiency. So I like doing things standing up rather than sitting down. To each their own, whatever works for you, that's what works for me. Cut it says, do you think Josh Jacobs was talking about Carr after the 49ers game interview? How do I know this is going to come up? I'm laughing because I think this question was going to come up. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna. I don't know. I thought you were gonna ask me if Josh Jacobs is going to return in 2023. I think Josh Jacobs is going to return in 2023. I think that's good news for the silver and black. Throughout the whole year, I was like, I don't know, that's not the right away, and keeping running backs basically are undervalued for the position, but it's Josh Jacobs. Remember, I talked about this, and I said, if you take out and remove Josh Jacobs and check the Twitter and Beast Receipts, and I said, if you take out Josh Jacobs, life without Josh Jacobs would be a very scary thought. And that's not a knock on Zeus White, but we don't know what we have in Zeus White, right? He's been a healthy scratch some of these games, and then also he's been banged up. So, and when he was been active, he hasn't been playing much, right? So it's kind of like, how do you know what you have if or don't have if you don't give these guys the live reps? And so, same goes with Neil Farrell and Matthew Butler, and then that whole entire 2022 draft class. Like outside of Dylan Parham, how do we know what we have? We don't. So, and Josh Jacobs is the best running back in the entire NFL. So I'm excited. I think roll tide roll. Josh Jacobs is going to return in 2023. It's trending that way. If I had to take a guess. Now, nothing is definite. I haven't heard anything from any of the higher ups. Like, so don't be like, "Oh, BEASTwriter said for sure, Josh." Like, I didn't say that. I said it's trending that way. If I had to take a guess, Josh Jacobs will return in 2023. Now watch him not return in 2023. Miguel Navarro says, "What's your thought on the fan um, that was forced to have his Fire McDaniel flag down?" I didn't know about this. This is the first time I've heard about this. Yeah, I've been so stuck on watching film and doing other things. I didn't even know about this. I have no idea what you're talking about. I truly don't. Like, I'm not trying to play a PR stunt here and be like, oh yeah, like I knew this, so I'm just going to defer. I really don't know what is going on here. Um, with your thought on the fan that was forced to have his fire mechanic down? Where was that? Is there a video of that? Like, I would want to know where this is. Like, I didn't know that. I really didn't know, unless you're making it up, Miguel. No, I don't think he. Um, why now won't helping in the middle of the D line would help our edge rushers in a lot of secondary. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Is it true that Josh Jacobs, Davante Adams, Darren Waller called Carr out after the Pittsburgh game, and that's why he started crying? No, I I don't think so. I don't know. I ain't hear about that. So a lot of rumors. Rumors could be true. They also can be false. I haven't heard anything on that, so I can't say one way or the other. Alfredo says, "Yeah, I love I love people." Um, Alfredo says, I'd hate to see Josh Jacobs." Me too. I love Josh. I told you guys, I love Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is one of my favorite players to cover. Top 10, top 5 actually, all time. My first year, I'm telling you, Josh Jacobs is great. Great person. You know who else is good is Jarrett Stidham. Even though he gives me shit in the locker room, didn't curse. Even though he gives me for my roll tide, roll swag. He always says, "Take off that crappy hat." He doesn't say crappy. He uses a different word, but I'm going to say crappy because he says, "Take off that crappy hat." I'm like, first of all, Jarrett, it's a beanie. Now we joke around all the time. Yeah, Jarrett's a really good guy. I hope everyone gets to know Jarrett, because Jarrett's he's a really cool guy. Like Jarrett sounds really really cool. Got to know him over the course of the season. Great guy, great person, very smart, very intelligent, understands the game of football, very professional, both on and off the football field. Yeah, I love Jarrett Stidham. I think he's great, the silver and black. I hope he returns. I know he's a free agent. Jarrett, if you're watching, you got to return, man. Steady Magic. We need Steady Magic, okay? I need something to game film breakdowns on your Steady Magic. Jarrett Stidham's great. Jarrett Stidham's great. All the players. Someone asked me who are my favorite players to cover this year. And again, I love all the players. I think all the players were great. Um, you can talk about. I mean, everyone's very professional. No issues at all. Everyone gives you an interview if you ask them for an interview. Now, Jerry Tillery is kind of like I don't know why, but but I'll no Jerry's good to you, but no, it's just one of those things where when you ask players for interviews, they're really really good at it. So Duron Harmon's good. One of my favorites. Like talking to, of course, Josh Jacobs. Um, Davante Adams is always good. Darren Waller always been good. Colton Miller, Alex Bars has always been good. Dylan Parham always been good. Cronus Grossi has always been good. Kyle Pickle, of course, always been good. Matthew Butler's always been good. Neil Farrell. I mean, the list goes on and on. You can go into Max Crosby, right? So it's like that's the obvious choice. But the list goes on. Zeus White, right? Zeus White. This goes on and on and on. So Meek Robertson, right? I just mentioned Harmon. So a lot of these guys are really Nate Hobbs, right? He's always in there in the locker room, really engaging with the media when asked, right? And so he's always good about that. And so I think that's really good from a player's perspective when you have players that are open to talking because it gives us some perspective on exactly what's going through their minds. And I think that's really important because too many times over you never want to go into it with a guessing game, right? Oh, I think there's no guesswork involved. I mean, you're actually getting input from the players pre and post game. You're getting their thoughts and analysis going into a game, and then you're also getting honest feedback. And so, obviously, they're not going to give you the full scoop and the full scope of things because that's like why would they do that? But they give you enough to where you can formulate the analysis that you want based on what they're saying. And so I think that's really, really good. And so everyone does a really good job at that. And yeah, everyone from the top down does good. I mean, Malcolm Kuntz, Cleve Farrell, um, Isaiah Palomel, right? So all these guys do a really good job at that. I think they do a really, really, really good job at that. Um, and again, love covering the silver and black, not going back. That should be my new motto. Some Niner fans are wondering if I'm going to go back. Would you ever consider going back to the Niners? I got that a lot. I saw him on the field during pregame when I was walking around the field in the black hole. And I made my trip around the other side, and you guys saw the video that I posted. And people obviously knew who I was. And like, hey, are you going to come? Are you here just for the game, or are you going to be covering? But they knew the answer. They knew I'm a beat writer for Raiders. Oh, like, you miss your red and gold content. You miss your Niner content, your Niner news, your Niners reporter. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, I'm with the silver and black. Ain't going back. Oh, now people are like, oh man, you're throwing shade now. Jeremy Willis says Stidham performed better than any Raiders quarterback I watched since Rich Gannon. Wow, you're going back to number 12. Okay, I see what you're doing there. Stidham ability to avoid the less courage, pocket accuracy, and money balls. Hope we roll with him. Yeah, I hope Jarrett Stidham. Jarrett Stidham is again. He's the guy that if he balls out of control, why are we using the word balls all of a sudden? Anyways, um, Herman says he got balls. I don't know why we're using balls all the time, but hey, all I gotta say is this: if he balls out of control on Sunday, just call him Stiddy Magic has some balls. If he balls out of control, has a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio, throws for 300 passing yards, and then has a completion percentage of, let's say, 67%, and throws to the receiver in stride on the proper shoulder, we might have something here, folks. We might have a good problem because if he returns and then GM Dave Ziegler and head coach Josh McDaniels look at this and say, "Hey, look, we might have something in him." So should we hold the draft position that we hold, where it'd be 8th, 7th pick, and we just let the draft board falls as it should without trading up and picking up a quarterback? Do we roll with Stidham and then let the other guy learn behind him? Because it could be the same exact dynamic that happened in San Francisco with Jimmy Garoppolo on a lesser scale, of course. But you guys see where I'm going with this. They drafted Trey Lance after Jimmy Garoppolo took him to the right. So we all know what's going to happen. We all seen it happen, right? We all seen it happen. Just 2 years removed, right? So very interesting. It's very interesting. And the same dynamic that happened in San Francisco was the Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers talk at the time, right? Tom Brady, if you guys don't know the story, Tom Brady wanted to play for San Francisco. John Lynch said no. And then they went ahead and got Trey Lance. I don't know. Tom Brady wanted to play for San Francisco. Niners said no. It's a very similar dynamic. It's a very in a good way though. I think that's a good problem to have because let's face it, if Jarrett Stidham did not ball out of control last week against the number one ranked defense in the NFL, we wouldn't be having this discussion. We'd be like, "Oh yeah, we're definitely going to be drafting the quarterback, or it's Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers or bust." That's the only two potential outcomes that we want here in Las Vegas. That from a fan perspective, that's where you're going with this. And I don't blame you because what sample size do you have to pull from when Jarrett Stidham hasn't played through this entire season? I get it. But the fact that Jarrett Stidham did ball out of control, now it had some reverse psychology in your mind where you're saying, "Oh crap, maybe we do have something in Jarrett Stidham." And now people are talking about possibly Jarrett Stidham being the starting quarterback next year and he being the bridge gap to the young quarterback they draft in the top 10 pick of this upcoming draft. But then there's so many other layers to this, right? The Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady dynamic, the Davante Adams, Aaron Rodgers potential being reunited, the potential of Tom Brady, who, based on the Tuck rule against the team that they won against, comes to the team they could ultimately win the Super Bowl, and then all is forgotten, and he rises into the sunset. Or do they simply just stick with Stidham? He balls out of control, and then now you have your quarterback for the foreseeable future. Or do you draft a guy like Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Will Levis, who I don't like? NFL media would be NFL Network, ESPN. They're all going to be all over this, like white on rice. They're going to be all over this, talking about this storyline, just like last year. People, oh yeah, they're going to the playoffs, and I'm like, the rest of the AFC got better too. Chargers got Khalil Mack. They got J.C. Jackson, who struggled this year. I think he's playing hurt. J.C. Jackson played horrible this year, really, really bad. My grading system, grading every single snap of him. They had pieces like Asante Samuel Jr., strong safety Derwin James is healthy, right? They have Nasir Adderley back there, right? They have Joey Bosa healthy at the time, right? You had horses. You had horses to play with. On the defense side of the football, GM Tom Telesco thought it was better served to go ahead and solidify the defensive front. You already know what you had on the offense side of the football, right? You went after guys like Matt Feiler the previous year, right? Who obviously came from the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? You went out and get Corey Linsley. Who's Corey Linsley? Well, he's the Green Bay Packers center, all pro center for the Green Bay Packers, and now he made the switch to go down south to SoCal. Draft Rashawn Slater, right? He's no DJ Fluker, roll tide roll, not throwing straight at DJ Fluker, but Tom Telesco loved his intangibles because he's 6'7", 330 pounds. Oh, the guy can move in space. Like, no, man. What are you thinking? But Tom Telesco comes from Ryan Grigson. If I'm not mistaken, right? Grigson and Bill Pulliam. So here we are. Again, you guys don't know what I'm talking about, but again, this is why I cover all 32 NFL teams. That's why it's in draft rules. I'm telling you, no drop off in production. I do this blind. Let's talk about another team. Ooh, name a team. Let's throw it out there. Let's go talk football. Let's talk draft. Let's talk how it's going to play out. Let's talk free agency. Let's do it. I'm down. Herman says, man, I remember that game. Boogie says, will Levis, Hendon Hooker, or Max Duggan, who would be the better fit for Josh McDaniels' offense? That is a great question. Of those three quarterbacks, I don't like any of them, so I'd say none of them. Joking. I got to run more game film on those guys, so I'm going to reserve my analysis for that until once the season goes over, and then we kickstart the 2023 NFL Draft. And again, doing this, it's very fun and very time-consuming, but again, you guys are going to want to see what I have to. I'm going to be hopping on live streams, talking about these players, running game film. I'm like a mad scientist with this stuff. I'm telling you guys right now. But a lot of stuff to talk about. There's 39 of us watching right now. If you guys like what I have to say, please give this video a thumbs up and smash the like button. All right? Smash the like button, give it a thumbs up. We're going to go ahead and wrap up the store. Yeah, this is the store. Wrap up this show. We're an hour and 57 minutes in away. So 2-hour live stream. And again, I just want to give a special thanks to those who supported Super Chat and Super Sticker. We had a lot coming in here. So on to Six Soldier. Thank you so much for the Super Chat and Super Sticker. Really appreciate it. Thank you for doing that. Let's see. Oh, you gave me 2 Super Chats. I see it. He said, please. Thank you so much. Give me one at 6:31 p.m. as well. Kevin Lurker, thank you so much. Always a big supporter here in the DOB. Give me one at 6:36. Thank you so much for the Super Chat and Super Stickers. SG Sports Talk Channel, thank you so much. He gave me one at 6:50. Onto Six Soldier gave me another. Damn, he gave me 3. Onto Six Soldier. Give me one. It's the Beast vs. Murray. We talk about the game film breakdown. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, my guy. Yeah, man, it's been fun. Keith Murphy, Niner fan, but he's always here in the DOP because he supports me. Since long time no see. I saw last week he moved to the dark side. Good luck with the Raiders, brother. Thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. My guy Daniel Kim, who's also a moderator here, and he's also a winner of the DOB giveaway because not because he gives me super chats. I mean that does help, but he's been engaging with me since day one. Been a huge supporter. One of my moderators here on YouTube. Thank you so much. He says, salute my brother about to start driving and can't chat per usual. Hit those likes. Yeah, I don't want you to drive. There's more important things in my live stream, like staying safe. So thank you so much for hopping in and shooting me a super chat. I really do appreciate it. Raider Dome, thank you so much. This is the first time that you've engaged with us here in the DOB, so you must be a new subscriber. Thank you so much, and thank you for the super chat and telling me to keep it up with my fitness gains. And again, I'll be posting more workout videos for all of you here on YouTube. I've been doing that on Instagram. Obviously, Instagram, as you guys know, is more of the fitness located social media algorithm platform that people use. But I'm going to be posting it and bridging that over to YouTube because, again, I think it's important. And you guys can choose to do what you guys want to do. You guys can either, love the content or not like the content. But either way, it gives you some kind of baseline of how to get started. And we can do and start with a single push-up. What's the proper way to do a single push-up, right? And if you can't do a push-up, what's the proper way of building up so you can do a push-up? So again, there's a different dynamic here at the DOB other than just covering the silver and black, and that's what I love to do. Too many times over, people just look at me and say, "Oh, you just cover the silver and black." No, I don't. I'm an NPC competitor. I'm a 3-time first place champion. Was nationally qualified to turn pro, going for my IFBB pro card. Evogen athlete, as you guys know. You guys know here in Vegas, took first and second place here in Olympia. So the supplements that I take, people are asking what supplements I take. Obviously, you got Evogen swag that I wear on game days sometimes, and whether I'm at the gym or not. And so yeah, that's what I do outside, aside from just covering the silver and black. And so that's why when players, I talk to some of the players and they, hey, what do you do for this workouts or what do you do for this XYZ? And we kind of bounce around ideas. And
it's funny because some people on Twitter, oh, I'm not gonna give this blog any platform, but he was like, oh, cringe, right? And I think I was like, okay, cringe. Well, you don't know that lifestyle because you're not in it. So unless you're in it, don't hate. Don't hate the game. Hate the game because you're not in the game. So don't hate me. Just stay in your own lane because that's what you should be doing. Otherwise, if you get called out, it ain't gonna be a good look. And I'm all about the good vibes only. But hey, look, if push come to shove, trust me, I fire back and I spit fire. So let's keep it 100 with you. So, um, yeah, and I showed the players and they were just kind of laughing at it, like, oh my gosh, like you don't even know, like, hey, you don't even know, but he's not even here too. Never seen him still footed in Raiders headquarters or at the games. Not there. To be there, but he's not there. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. That's all I gotta say about that. But no, thank you so much, Raider Dome, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Um, yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. Jamie says, "Great show, Beast." Looks says, "One more nation." Um, Herman says, "Is Raider LOL? I like to mix. I like to get up. I like to mix get up." Um, yeah, it's been good. Arkham Raider says, "Salute Beast Rider. Appreciate it." I'm glad everyone loved the show. D-Man says, hit the like button on the way out. Great show, Beast. Yeah, I had a lot of fun, man. And like I said, if you're watching this on the replay, and if you want to donate, you guys can do so. There's a money icon in the chat below, and it's a heart icon. And you guys can go ahead and donate. It's called the Super Thing. So obviously, if you're watching on replay, I do get that, and it does count, right? So you guys can do that. Otherwise, if you're watching the replay, just give it a thumbs up. That's just as good, right? So that really helps out the YouTube DOB. Also helps out on if you're watching on Facebook, give it a thumbs up as well. So any social media platform would be YouTube, Twitter. You can retweet the video to all your family and friends. It's a good way for us to kind of grow the channel. And again, I can't grow without your support. And again, the bigger the prizes, the bigger we grow, the bigger the giveaways. So you're doing yourself a disservice if you're a true silver and black Raider Nation fan, like not you, but like people say they are. You're gonna want to grow the DOB because I'm gonna give away. Ultimately, I want to give away tickets to the game. And I already do it for 49ers. I'm not even covering the Niners anymore. I still do it. To all my loyal 49er fans that still stick with me. It's funny because there's people that are dropping off on Instagram. Like literally, I lost 400. How many did I tell you that I lost? 400. I lost 400 subscribers or followers on Instagram. Funny story. I lost 400 subscribers on Instagram the moment after the Raider Niner game. Okay, true story. The funny thing about this is I had at one time over 12,000 Instagram followers. Once I started bodybuilding, it had nothing to do with the Raiders, had nothing to do with I was still a 49ers beat writer. People didn't like I was posting selfies, but I was getting paid to post these selfies. I was getting paid for my content. So it's like it's part of my 9 to 5, but they didn't see that. They just saw what I did as my 9 to 5 as being a 49ers reporter. Okay, cool story. I lost like 4,000 followers. So the ones that were loyal stayed with me. And then when I made the switch from the Niners over to the Steelers during COVID, I kept those followers because when it was COVID, no one was really on social media anyways, and everyone's doing their own thing anyways. But then once I went to the Raiders, I lost for every 10 Niner fans. I lost again. This is like a startup for me. Right? You guys gotta understand. This is my startup. The DOB is a startup, right? So you gotta look at it as a startup, and I love it. I love the challenge because I'll tell you what, some of my 49ers coworkers were asking me, like, dude, you're kind of screwing yourself. I said, because you're so big with the Niners. Why don't you just going back to the Niners? And I told them this. I said, one, I like a challenge. Not saying it's not challenging to go back to the Niners. I'll tell you what, it's not challenging to go back to the Niners. It's not. It's like it's just it's not. You guys know. I like the challenge of doing something different and then building it up. I already done it. Been there, done that with the Niners, right? And I'm not saying um, it's not. It wasn't as appealing to me as covering a new team, starting from the ground up, and then doing it with two different organizations. How cool would it be? Not only two different organizations, but a rival organization, like the Niners and the Raiders. Like for me, that's more rewarding because it's like I like the challenge of doing something new. when people say I couldn't do it. Like if someone tells me I can't do it, like in bodybuilding, right? I started when I was 33 years old, and people told me, "Oh, you can't win your show. There's no way you're going to win your show. You're going up against 18, 19, 21 year olds. The genetics just aren't there." And I was like, "Okay, I'm going to show you guys I'm going to win the show." Well, my first show I ever did, right? I came 15th out of 15th, right? Last place, 15th out of, and this wasn't even a pro show. Oh no, it was a pro show. I was 15th out of 15, right, in San Jose at the Santa Clara Convention Center, right across from Levi Stadium. Get this, right? 15th out of 15th, last place. And I looked at this as like, okay, so all these haters are, whatever, Niner fans, whatever, are the ones that don't support me because probably like, whatever the case may be. They're probably like, oh yeah, this guy can't do it. So I was like, okay, you know what? I know where I need to improve on. Right? It's a learning lesson for me. I know what I need to improve on to improve. Right? So that first year, I went from 15 to 15th, and then I went from 13 out of 15 in Sacramento. That was year one. Year two, I come into it, got a new team, got an actual coach. Again, the first year I was just doing it blind, basically. Stepped on stage 2 weeks out, didn't even prep, just stepped on stage. Judges said I had the worst stage presence ever. Worst stage presence ever. Literally was told this by the judges. But I didn't take it as, oh man, you're hating. It's like, no, man, that's constructive criticism. I suck on stage because otherwise I wouldn't finish last place. Year one. Year two, come in. Won my shows. Won first place in novice, won first place in open. Went to a second show 2 weeks later. First place novice, second place open. Another pro show. First place, second place. Oh, no, first place. Excuse me. First place. National qualified. When people tell you can't do something, it's just motivation for me to prove them wrong. Look, you can take it two ways. You can be like, oh, yeah, they're right. Yeah, I can't do it. You're right. No, or you can be like, no, man, I'm going to prove it. Like, I'm going to prove you wrong. Like, I can do it. Right. So it's just like, that's where I'm going with all of this, is because you can do things. If you put your mind to it, if you put the work ethic into it, anything can happen. Anything can happen. So that's one of the things that was appealing to me was, I wanted to cover the Las Vegas Raiders. They've always been intriguing to me, right? And so I kind of wanted the challenge of trying something new. Not necessarily saying that the Niners, I shouldn't say it's not a challenge, because every year is a challenge, because obviously things pop up, but then you kind of get used to the format of the way things, you kind of know from a perspective of what's going to happen or what's not going to happen based on how the team is going, right? Like, and once you do that for a few years, it's kind of like just every other job. Like you get into a rhythm of doing things, right? Like, okay, so based on what I saw from last year on film, that same thing. So coming over to the Raiders is so new. And again, aside from covering the Raiders, just living in Las Vegas was a new adjustment to me. So I have never moved. And again, that's a challenge in itself, right? Moving to a whole different state other than the big area that I've been born and raised in, right? That's a huge new dynamic for me, just from a personal standpoint. Forget covering football. This is from a personal standpoint. It's a huge stepping stone for me, kind of moving away. And I lived in San Diego, so I went to San Diego State, but moving away out of state and then embarking on a career path that you don't know how it's going to turn out, right? Like I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I take every day as if it's my last, right? So I work every day as if it's my last, leaving no stone unturned, doing your due diligence. I was talking to some family and friends and coworkers here, and they're like, "Hey, man, we missed you. We haven't seen you." When because I had family in town, and also some family at the game because they're Niner fans, and some of them are Raider fans, and so we all got together at the tailgate. And obviously, like I said, I don't drink anyways, but and they wouldn't offer me drink anyways because I know. But eating the foods, right? Eating the foods that we all kind of look forward to during the holidays. I didn't have that. So getting a little piece of that, or seeing it was kind of like, it was more of like, okay, like you're gonna have to grind it out. Right? This is a life choice that you made, right? And again, nothing comes easy without sacrifice. Let me just tell you guys something. Like everybody wants to live the lifestyle, but you're gonna have to give up something to live that lifestyle. Like everyone wants to look right, bodybuilding or wants an 8-pack or wants this, but there's some sacrifice involved. Right? When you compete in bodybuilding, there's sacrifice involved. You can't drink, and maybe that's why I don't drink. Like, I don't drink, and people know. Like, if you were to ask me how many drinks I had since I started bodybuilding back in 2015, I guarantee you can count it on one hand. Shots, beer, not really. Like, for real, for real. So, like, and again, that's sacrifice, right? Um, so getting back to it, the mental toughness to have what it takes from that perspective, um, outside of just covering the silver and black as my 9 to 5 and doing all these other things, it's not as easy, right? It's not as easy as people make it out, right? So that's kind of where my head's at right now. Yeah. All right. All right, guys. So I think I'm gonna wrap this up. Herman says, I chose to drink and not take stuff. Um, yeah. I chose to drink. So you chose to drink and then not eat. Raider Room says, I'm late, but salute beast. What's going on, man? How you been? All right, that's going to conclude this live stream. I hope everyone had fun today. I know I did. So stay hot, keep it real here on the DOB. Again, share the word to all your family and friends. The 35 of you guys watching, give this video a thumbs up. Again, spread the word to everyone here in the DOB at hot here. The dark side of BEASTwriter. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a good day. BEASTwriter out.